I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What is going on? Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is your guy KingzNDreamZ back with another video. I definitely appreciate you all for rocking out with me today. Thank you all so much, man. All right, so we got a very good topic today that we are going to get into, man. Really excited to talk about this country. A lot of you all know I'm definitely one of the Colombian guys, but I will say a lot of my audience also like Brazil as well. So we definitely want to have that conversation. Brazil is such a big piece of the Americas, right? And I love the fact that not only a lot of my people, my supporters, and also friends like Brazil, but they have a lot of great things and interesting things to say about it. And the guest that I'm going to be bringing on, a good friend of mine, most recently just came and visited Brazil, and he has a lot to talk to you all about. So without further ado, definitely got to bring my man up. What is going on, my brother?
What's going on, Kings?
Oh, man. In the building. What's up,
I'm
man?
Excited. I'm so excited, man. I've been waiting for this all day. I can't wait to talk about Brazil, man. It's my favorite topic.
Yes, man. You know, well, first of all, before we get started, man, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Just been very busy. As you know, I've been doing live streams almost every day, every other day. So just gotta grind hard, man. Grind hard while I'm young, so that way I can enjoy life later on, you know?
Say that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, I saw you on with the International Zoe. So that was good. That was good, man. You know, you guys had a good conversation yesterday, right? So I see you making moves, man. You making your ways around TikTok.
I got it, man. You know, I because right now the three main social media platforms I use is YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Don't sleep on TikTok, guys. If you're a content creator, don't sleep on TikTok, man. There's a lot of growth, a lot of networking, that goes down in TikTok. You know what I mean? That's where I met a lot of my friends from Brazil actually was from TikTok. So don't sleep on TikTok.
Okay, so would you say TikTok is a better, it's not necessarily better, but it's a good way, like if you're about to go into a country, right, and you haven't been to that country before, is that a good way to network?
Yes, it's a good way to network. I met a lot of friends actually from TikTok. So I'll be doing live streams on TikTok. And then I don't know how it happened, Kings. It just all fell on my lap, right? This was not intended. I was doing live streams on TikTok.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, Brazilian girls are trying to like collab. They're trying to come on. They're trying to, you know what I mean? They're trying to talk. And the thing is, a lot of them didn't even speak that much English, but I work with them because I speak Spanish. So we found the middle ground. But yeah, just that got me used to talk to Brazilians, and I love their vibe. And that was, I mean, this is kind of I know you're going to ask this question later on, you know, something we can talk about later on, but I felt like just talking to them kind of made me more intrigued into going to Brazil. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to go to Brazil. But there's a lot of networking that you could do in TikTok.
Yes, absolutely. We are going to go back to that question later, because that is a question that I did have for you. What was the catalyst that I guess that made you want to go to Brazil? But before we do that, I definitely want to give a shout out to some of my people. So shout out to my man, Tim Howard. If this thing will pop on. Why is this thing not popping on? Okay, there we go. All right. Please make sure that you hit the like button, the notification button, and share this content with as many people. Yes, absolutely. Definitely make sure that you hit the like button, notification button, and share this content with as many people as possible. Definitely appreciate you all. Also, my man, Garden Scientist says KingzNDreamZ. Salute to you. Salute to my man, Garden Scientist, man. All right, yeah, man. So putting up the Brazil emojis. Yeah, see the Brazil's getting love up here. Vlog tripping is in the building. Says year, you know that's that New York year.
Yeah, I'm from here. I'm from
Oh
the city.
yeah. Tri-state,
Tri-state area.
tri-states in the building, man. Mostly Money TV, my man Andre Love Crossing Borders. Mostly Money TV. Man, Andre's got I think 5 or 6 YouTube channels and
What?
all
Five,
monetized.
6 YouTube channels?
Yes,
I
and this
struggle
is
with one. I struggle with one.
yeah, this is his biggest one. I think this one has like 130K, man. Yeah,
I thought it was Love Crossing Borders. That was his biggest
well,
channel.
yeah, that's one of them.
Man, that
That's
man
one of
Andre
them. But
hustling, man. I'm
yes,
gonna have to subscribe to that. I didn't know he had other YouTube
yeah,
channels.
definitely subscribe to Mostly Money TV. Andre and Andre Love Crossing Borders. Also, they have I think it's Traveled Unraveled. That's the newest one, and then Andrea Wallace TV. I think I got all of them, Dre. If I didn't, that's my bad. But I believe I got most of them. So also moderators, Dre, you could drop your link, and then let's make sure that we all subscribe to all of these channels, man. Because here's the thing: we as a community, not only that, but us as most of us are melanated. We want to make sure that we support each other, right? We support the media, man. It's important. It's extremely important. Speaking of support, my man Passport Stamp is in the building, man. He says KND rude boy always got love, and I'm sorry, always I'm always here to support. But yes, one love, broski, man. One love. Definitely appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you being here. Okay, all right. So let's get into it, man. So how long have you been traveling?
So I would say I've been traveling since birth, man, because my family was going
Yeah.
back and forth between here and the Dominican Republic. They love going to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So literally every year, every other year, I was going to DR. I think that was the first country I've been to outside of country. I went to DR. And then after a while, I was like, man, I love DR. That's the motherland and all. I have a love for that place, but I want to see what else the rest of the world has. You know what I mean? Because I just don't want to be that guy that's just going to DR. You know what I mean? That's when I decided, all right, let's go to Canada. Because in my opinion, like if you're a beginner traveler, I feel the best way to get your feet wet is by visiting countries that are nearby, right? That way you're not in an airplane for too long. It's not too much of a culture shock. I mean, Canada is basically similar to America. I don't know if you've been there before, Kings.
Yeah. I have family in Canada. So kind of like what you were saying, not to like not to like cut you up, but I was gonna say what you were saying, like how you were going to DR like every year, every other year or so, back and forth. That's what I was doing with Jamaica, right? I was going there back and forth, you know what I mean? Now, were you born here or were you born in the DR?
So fun fact, I was born in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Interesting because I live in Massachusetts now.
Yeah, I was born in Salem, man.
And Salem, so Salem's
a lot of Dominicans over there.
Yeah, Salem's like maybe like 30 minutes away from me. But yeah,
all right.
That's interesting. But okay, but you were born stateside and then you were going back and forth. Okay, so I was born stateside and I went back and forth. So our stories are similar. And then and then you talked about going into Canada. Yeah, so go from there.
Yeah, I was just saying that like if you're like a beginner traveler, you've never been out the country, but you're interested in going, you don't gotta be in an 8-hour flight going to Europe or going deep down to Brazil, for example, right? In fact, Brazil, not to get too ahead of myself, but Brazil is not really the country for first-time travelers. I feel if you're a first-time traveler, go up to Canada. That's one of the places you should be going to. Go to Toronto, go to Montreal. I heard great things about Montreal. Yeah. If you're trying to have a good time, go to Montreal. Toronto's cool too, but I don't know. I feel totally about Toronto. I feel like it's too similar to the United States, in my opinion. I mean, there's Mexico. I've never been to Mexico, but I heard good things about Mexico. Dominican Republic, of course. The Caribbean, Jamaica, all that, go there. In fact, the Dominican Republic is great because it's one of the best bang for your bucks that there is, in my opinion, because you go on to a resort, you pay like a K or a little over a K, and it's all inclusive. You get drinks, food, everything included with that. You know what I mean? You just drop a K or however much it is, depending on the resort, it varies, and you have everything there. So I would say try out those countries first. And then once you get a little bit of a taste, once you dip your toe or your feet into that pool, you know what I mean? Then you could dive in. and you could go ahead into South America, into Europe, and all that.
Right. One of the things that I like that you mentioned, right, where you say that you're not having, like, you're not being on the flight for too long, and that's one of the things that I talk to people, like when they first start to travel internationally, right? You want to make sure that you don't have like, because some people will get turned off from traveling, right? Like if you just say, okay, like your first trip is, let's say, Kenya, like you're gonna be on the plane like 10, 10, 12 plus hours, right? So some people like are okay with that, but the majority of people, like you mentioned, Canada, right? Mexico, and even if people live on the West Coast or down south, let's say like Texas in that area, right? Because Mexico was so huge, from us on the East Coast, we're gonna go like to Quintana Roo area. The West Coast is gonna, be like more or less like Cabo, Tijuana, right? But either way, like it's such a short trip. Like from San Diego, you can actually drive into Mexico. I think Tijuana from San Diego is like 30 minutes. I think it's something like that. But the whole point about it is that when you want to make sure that you're not telling people to go on these like long ass flights, because that will definitely be like, you know what, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, man, it's uncomfortable,
like
man. I've been on very long flights. I've been on 9-10 hour flights. I've been on 3 planes in one day. Like when I went to Turkey, literally I flew from Newark Liberty to Turkey, the Turkey airport, which, by the way, is the best airport I've ever been to in my life, man. I think it's state of the art. Like, it's beautiful, man. Search it up, man. The Istanbul, that's what I meant. The Istanbul airport, because there's 2 of them, but I'm talking about the one on the European side, not the Asian side. The one on the European side is amazing. Like, I'm talking about the best airport I've ever seen in my life. I think it ranks up there. I think it's top 5 from what I saw from photos and all that. It's amazing. But from there, I flew. So I took one plane. Then from there, I took another plane. I believe it was to Cappadocia, because that was the destination I wanted to take my ex to, was that Cappadocia. So actually, I stand corrected. It was actually two flights.
Okay, gotcha. So speaking of Turkey, the last time I actually interviewed you on here, you had went with I believe it was your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
So can you kind of just explain, is there a big difference from traveling with your girlfriend as opposed to traveling alone or traveling with your bros? Like what's the experience like for you? Because I believe you've done that, right? Like, you travel with your lady, and then you've also like traveled with your guys, and you've also may have done like some solo trips.
Yes, I would say, man, like a vacation with your girl is lit. Like, if your girl is a dope person, if you chose right, man, it's gonna be a good time, man. Like, it's good. Like, you're never gonna be lonely. You guys can share special memories together. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you're trying to get your freak on, you got someone to do that with. You know what I mean? Like, it's just dope compared to like you solo traveling or you going with your boys. Where there might be a night where like you're like, damn, like who am I coming back home to? You know what I mean? What's going on here? You know what I mean? But I would say the main advantages to solo traveling, because I just did that with Brazil, and going with your boys, is that you're able to put your hand in the cookie jar, if you know what I mean. So if you see a chick you like, you're able to just be like, all right, I'm single, I can do what I want. And you know what I mean? It's not like that when you're with your girl. In fact, Spain, I went to Spain with my ex. And I don't know if I told you this the last time, Kings, but when I was in Spain, man, the amount of women that would flirt with me in Spanish in front of my girl was ridiculous.
Wow.
It was they knew that she didn't know Spanish.
Oh, man. So they were shooting their shots right in front of your girl, but your girl had no idea. Man.
And she picked up on it, because girls aren't stupid. Even if you don't speak the language, you're going to pick up on it. So she would give him like the death stare, like, why you talking to my man, this, that. And I'm over here like, I don't know what to do, man, because I ain't going to lie. They were bad, but I'm going to be loyal to my girl at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I had to like decline it. I had to like de-escalate, if you know what I mean. Because you can either escalate it or de-escalate. So I de-escalated it. I was just like, you You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah, man. Because I'm not trying to be that dude that's trying to flirt with another chick in front of my girl. That's disrespectful. You don't do that. You know what I mean? Even if the girl's bad.
I feel you.
Yeah.
But now you single. You gotta make a trip back to Spain now.
Well, I actually saw a video yesterday because Barcelona is actually my favorite city in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to my bro. Go abroad now, man. Shout out to the boy, man.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for the super chat. That's actually someone else you got to collab with, man. He's good dude. Go abroad now.
Yeah. So he and I we've been in conversation. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead. You were saying about Spain.
Oh, so I actually saw a TikTok yesterday where I think the Spanish locals, specifically Barcelona, which is my favorite city in the world, by the way.
Oh wow.
They were getting mad about all like the tourists coming in because bro, Barcelona's amazing.
Yeah.
Barcelona's amazing. I don't understand why there's not many passport bros out there. Like I have seen videos of passport bros in Barcelona, but there's nothing spectacular. You know what I mean? Like it's not many people out there in numbers, which I guess is a good and a bad thing. But it's such a phenomenal city. You know what I mean? But besides the point, though, before we get into a whole different discussion.
Sure.
But yeah, they were getting mad because there was an influx of all these tourists coming in, making things more expensive and all that. And it got to the point where they started making like protests about it, and they got water guns, and they went to specific restaurants where they knew tourists would be at and start like splashing them with water guns and shit on some immature shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? Are we in like elementary school again? What's going on? But that's what they were doing because Spanish people are cool, but if you get them mad, like they're gonna be petty. You know what I mean? They're gonna fight back.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I laugh, but I would hope that they wouldn't do that to me, man.
Oh no.
I would hope not. Okay, yeah. So this is another one. Oh man, shout out to Tim Howard. He gifted 5 memberships. Man, how am I able to see who got a membership? Oh, I know how to do that. Okay, I got it now. All right, so Chalupe 71, The Art of Will, G Turner, Harry, Brooklyn GQ. Oh man, all got memberships. That's what's up, man. Shout out to my man Tim Howard, man. I love my people, man. I love my people, man. For real. Also, wow, this is my man John. Is this Johnny Quest? I think this is Johnny Quest, Jake Quest, man, from my man Jake Asman show. Shout out to my man Jake Asman. He works for ESPN New York.
Ooh,
and he does he does a podcast every day talking about the New York Jets. That's my dude, man. So yeah, we got a close knit family over there too.
Wait, I saw Charles comment over there. Charles, who's winning the Argentina game, man? Who's winning that?
Hold on 1 minute. YS Falls. Oh, yes. Was the best place in Jamaica. Yes. Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. I'm glad you liked it. Man. And pray for Jamaica, man, because that hurricane hit us, you know, but we gonna get back on our feet. I'm going to Aruba on Saturday. Okay. All right, man. Okay, Jay Quest. I feel you, man. All right. Let's see. Passport Bros. Shout out to Passport Bro Podcast. Definitely make sure you check out his channel and also No Excuse. So he has 2 channels as well, man. So make sure you check No Excuse and Passport Bros. Vlog tripping. AMS Airport is dope. It's high end mall. High end mall. What's okay? It's a high end mall. Okay, got it. Let's see. Charles Jones says, "Yo, stopping by to do a light watching Argentina versus Canada. Who's winning? Let me see. Oh, Argentina 2, Canada. Okay, yeah. So Argentina got that.
Not surprised.
Nope. All definitely make sure that you hit your likes on the way in. Likes are free 99. Goals by Messi and Julian Alvarez.
And I've read on over here in MetLife. I'm not that far off from there.
Oh, that's happening in MetLife right now?
Yeah, it's happening in MetLife right now. I have some friends actually in the game right now.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, so my next question, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, and I just wanted to ask you, why Brazil? What made you decide to say I am taking my talents to Brazil?
Wow, I don't even know where to start, man. Because I was big into Europe. I was Mr. Europe. I was go
Hmm.
to Italy, go to France, go to Spain. You know, I wanted to go other places too. I was in Turkey, even though Turkey is a weird country because it's like Istanbul is half of it is in Europe, the rest of it is in Asia, and then the rest of the country is also in Asia. So I guess that's also Europe too, technically Istanbul. But I think you know what it is, man. It was a combination of many things. So one of it was TikTok, dealing with the girls that I dealt with in TikTok, collabing with them, seeing how great they were of people. They kept promoting Brazil. That like, yo, please come to Brazil, please come to Brazil. This that. Also, I would have to give a shout out to certain brothers. DJP. I used to watch his content, or I still do actually. His content was so great on Brazil that I was like, man, I gotta go. Of course, Austin's content as well in Brazil. And I'm thinking who else? Zoe, International Zoe. There's a lot of
Hmm.
brothers that make great content out there in Brazil. And I think a combination of all that, like, just made me want to go because I was so curious about it. I kept hearing good things about Brazil, like the vibes are like impeccable and the beaches are fantastic and blah blah blah. Right. So I had to go on over there, man. And that flight was ridiculous. It was like, first of all, like there's not that many direct flights that go straight down to Brazil, especially
Hmm.
where I'm at. I think the only airport that has a direct flight, from what I know, is Houston. So I had to go from Newark to Houston, and then Houston all the way down to Rio de Janeiro. So that right there was
Okay, so
almost
that's
the
where you went.
whole
Okay.
day, man. That was almost the whole day on the plane. And once I landed there, man, I felt like a special energy when I was down there, man. I felt
Hmm.
like, all right, things are about to kick up. You know what I mean? I'll end it right there.
I got you. So there is a direct flight, not to Rio de Janeiro, but to Sao Paulo from JFK.
Oh, oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Now
so
I know
yeah,
for
you
next
got to
time.
fly from JFK. Yeah, you got to fly from JFK, and then now that I'm in Massachusetts, there's one from Boston to Sao Paulo. But in order to get to Rio de Janeiro, what I have to do is I have to fly into Sao Paulo, then Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro. You heard me?
Yeah, I heard, bro. My
Oh,
bad, my
okay,
bad.
okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because okay, it looked like I might have cut out. So let's talk about like the languages, right? Because you talked about how there was also a workaround, if you will, due to the fact that you're Dominican and you speak Spanish fluently, right?
Yeah,
But Portuguese and Spanish, some of it is similar. Well, a good portion of it is similar, right?
yeah.
Um, I always hear mixed things, right? Because like some Brazilian women will say, no, there's a difference. And then some Brazilian women will say, yeah, it's similar, right? So I like to just say a good portion says that it's similar. Now, how were you able to navigate with the natives speaking Spanish and them speaking Portuguese? Like, how were you able to kind of navigate that?
Well, that's a good question, man. Because like, I so what happened was I started practicing my Portuguese on TikTok with the girls.
Yeah,
And so like I got to be able to communicate with them like so and so. You know, a lot of them actually understand Spanish because like it is a little bit similar to
yeah.
Portuguese. In fact, Portuguese speakers can understand Spanish speakers better than Spanish speakers can understand Portuguese because Portuguese is like broken Spanish, man. It
Ah,
sounds so different. Like, so I was able to communicate with them in Spanish, but once they spoke to me in Portuguese, it was like I was like a deer in headlights almost, man. And the thing was, bro, I took lessons,
okay,
Duolingo, all that before I got over there. So I had a little bit of experience when it came to Portuguese, and I still felt like I was lost in the sauce. You know what I mean?
okay.
So the whole thing, man, is I feel like when you're in Brazil, you prepare yourself a little bit because only 1% of the population speaks Portuguese over there. So meaning you go down the street, they're slim to none that you're gonna find an individual that speaks fluent English. And even if they do speak English, it's gonna be very limited English. So you just gotta be understanding of that. You gotta be able to just put yourself in uncomfortable situations with people, communicate as best as you can. I
Mhm.
not once did I use Google Translate over there because I refused to do that. So I tried to like talk to them and meet them halfway, use my Portuno. And believe it or not, man, I got I made some friends down over there. It was a good time. But honestly, man, once I got back from Brazil, I was like, nah, man, when I go back to Brazil, I got to make sure that I'm at least semi-fluent in Portuguese, because I'm not going to go back down there and go through all these language barriers and all that, man. I refuse that.
I got you. So what is your comfortability, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, as far as navigating Portuguese?
Say that question again. My bad.
Yeah. So your comfortability speaking Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Level 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What's your level of comfortability?
I would say my comfortability at the moment is a 4. I'm not gonna lie, it's a 4, because the thing is, man, when I speak Portuguese, it's almost like I'm speaking Spanish. Like my tutor tells me all the time. Shout out to Camilla. I've actually done an interview with her, which was a dope interview, by the way. So when I speak, like por ejemplo, cuando trato de falar portugués, suena como estoy falando español. And it doesn't sound like because when you go to Brazil, when Carioca speak, they have their own accent. You know what I mean? Even Paulistas. So the thing was, people can tell off the rip, like, all right, this guy isn't from here. He's American. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's my comfortability with Portuguese wasn't the best. Yeah. But the thing about me is I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna try to communicate as best as I can. And I think they appreciated that. They appreciated the fact that I was willing to go out of my way to meet them halfway and communicate with them, because not many Americans go down there with basic understanding of Portuguese.
You know, that's interesting that you talk about effort, right? And I'll just say this really quick, because what I've noticed is not just like in Colombia, but I've noticed this also in Mexico. When you try to make an attempt to speak their language, people will show you respect.
Facts.
Right?
That's how
as opposed to just like just speaking English and you expecting them to know, right? Because you hear where people from other countries come here, and then we, not like you and I, but we would get upset and say, oh, you're in America, you should be speaking English. Okay, well, you're in Latin America, you should be speaking Spanish, right? So you need to be able to put in the effort, even if you're not 100% fluent, 75%, or even 50%, but at least you're putting in some sort of the effort, right? So I would rather, I would rather, that's like if someone goes to Jamaica and they're trying to speak like Jamaican patois, right? So even though it still has English in there, I would rather you do the 40% of the effort as opposed to not trying at all.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is that I don't give a damn, man. I'm if I see someone that I want to talk to, because wherever I go, man, even in Turkey, I did the same thing. And in Turkey, there's more English speakers out there than what there is in Brazil. I think Brazil was the first country I went to where there was like limited people that spoke English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least in Turkey, there were people that spoke fluent English out there. You know what I mean? Even Spanish to a degree. But in Brazil, it was almost like not many people spoke English at all. They understood a little bit of Spanish. You know what I mean? Like it was just I felt lost in the sauce a little bit. But the second time I go to Brazil, man, I'm gonna make sure my Portuguese is on point.
Yeah. So speaking of the second time, do you have a timeline for that?
Oh, yes, I have it all planned out. So because, man, like I was telling Zoe this yesterday, man.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Brazil is calling my name. You know what I mean? It's like, come by, please come back. No, and then I got all the you know what it is, man. I don't understand, man. Like when I was in Brazil, I hung out with girls out there. All some girls from TikTok, some girls I met on IG, Tinder, whatever the case is. Right? Yeah. And some of them I got to hang out with. A lot of them I didn't get to hang out with. But the minute I step back on American soil, they're all like, "Oh, are you here?" And I would tell them, "No, I'm back in the States." "Oh man, like please come back, please come back." Since then, they've been blowing up my DMs to come back. And I'm like, all right, what was this energy when I was down there? You know what I mean? Like, it be like that, man. I'm telling you. So, I mean, not saying I'm going there just for that. I mean, that is one of the biggest reasons. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but
sure.
you know, but I really did enjoy Brazil. I really want to go around the whole country and experience it, man, because it's such a unique and special country, man. Like it's so different. It's like different countries all in one country. Like
Right.
Rio de Janeiro is so different from Sao Paulo. Like, Rio de Janeiro is like, think of it almost as like a combination of Florida and California together. Then you got Sao Paulo that feels like New York City. Like it feels like you're back in America in some sense. Like when I was in Sao Paulo, I'm like, am I in Brazil still? Like, and then once I heard people speaking Portuguese, I was like, oh yeah, we're in Brazil. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, South and then Florianopolis, I heard is a whole different place. The south you go in Brazil, the more European it feels like. The more north you go, there's more like African influence. So like Brazil is just a free for all, bro. Like literally, like there's Germans, Italians, Lebanese people. Another cool fact about, or a couple cool facts about Brazil. Brazil has the highest population of Japanese people outside of Japan. Brazil has the highest population of Black people. I think that is it.
Yep.
Hold on. I don't know if it's the highest population of Black people or if Black people make up most of the population, but there's a lot of Black people.
It's actually both.
Yeah.
It's
I had to fact check myself for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, am I right or am I wrong here?
Yeah. You talk about like the highest population of Black people outside of the continent of Africa, right?
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. So I'm gonna get to some of your comments, Charles, because Charles loves Brazil as well.
I love Brazil, man.
Yeah, he loves Brazil and he loves Argentina too. So
I gotta go to Argentina, man. But I heard mixed reviews about Argentina though.
Yeah, I mean, so I've heard that as well, but from like the people that I trust their word, I would say that the good significantly outweighs the bad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try that out. Maybe when I go to Brazil, I'll stop by Argentina since I'm right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and so you mentioned how Rio kind of looks like a combination of, I think you said a combination of Florida and California. Is that what you have mentioned? Okay, so how's the infrastructure? Because people who just stay stateside, who don't really travel like that, they always think like, you know, people go to like Brazil, Colombia. We're just going to like these huts and you know, these huts in these villages. So kind of explain how the infrastructure is for you. Like, was it modern? Was it well kept? Was it, you know, up to par? Expound on that part, please.
That's a great question, man. I like that question. So this is a misconception that a lot of people have about Brazil. Everyone thinks, because the first thing people think about, or the first couple things people think about when they think about Brazil is one, the beautiful women. Number two, football, right? The Ronaldinhos, the Neymars, the beaches, of course, is the third. And then the fourth is the favelas. They think that Brazil, the whole entirety of Brazil, especially Rio de Janeiro, is all favelas. And that's a misconception. When you get in there, like depending where you go. So I stayed in Copacabana. Now I'm gonna admit, Copacabana, it doesn't have modern infrastructure, right? I feel like a lot of it is from the 60s because I think they had a boom period in the 60s. But the more up you go, so when you go to Ipanema, Leblon, and then you have Barra de Tijuca, it gets more modern, it gets more sophisticated, it gets more elegant. Like it gives you kind of Miami vibes sometimes. You know, so it depends on what neighborhood you're in. But Copacabana is the oldest, and then the further up you go up the strip, it gets newer and newer and better and richer.
Gotcha. Now being Dominican and me growing up in New York City, I like when it comes to the Latin culture, I would eat a lot of Puerto Rican food, Dominican food, right? And so how would you compare the similarities and differences to the food in Brazil? Like, was there anything similar to Dominican food? And were there like some vast differences where you were like, okay, like, I don't know if this is for me. You know what I mean?
So I would say I was surprised. Like I felt like Brazilian food was very similar to Dominican food. Like what they eat, I meant like they eat like rice and beans, chicken, steak. Like they eat rice and beans every day. Like they love rice and beans out there. It's similar to Dominicans and Caribbean, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Same thing. I'm Jamaica. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, same thing in Jamaica, right? So it's like that. They eat rice and beans, their chicken, they got their picanhas, the steaks and all that. They got pastels, which is like their form of empanadas, which is similar to Dominican Caribbeans, right? You know, so I felt like their food was similar, but then there were other things that are a little bit different. I tried out some of their soups and all that. I tried out coxinha, which I wouldn't even know how to describe that to you. It looks like a cone, and you eat it, and there's like meat or whatever it is inside of it. It's called coxinha. Like search it up whenever you can.
Okay.
But it is interesting. They have a lot of interesting food because they have a lot of different influences out there in Brazil. You got African influence, which is one of the major ones out in Brazil.
Right.
You got Italian influence. You got European influence, Germans. There's a bunch of Germans in the south of Brazil. Like, so there's a ton of different type of foods out there that they just mixed up together. You know, it's very interesting. But here's one thing about Brazil, and I hope my Brazilians don't hate me for this, okay? Because they might be tuning in. But I felt like the food, depending where you went, was hit or miss. You got to do your research, especially in Rio. I thought Sao Paulo had better food. Because I feel like all the chefs and all the good people are out there in Sao Paulo. Not saying Rio doesn't, because Rio, I did try a lot of good food in Rio. In fact, the best meal I had was in Rio de Janeiro. But it's hit or miss because I think the food out there, they don't put much seasoning or flavor. So I think that's a major difference between Dominican food, which is high on seasoning and flavor, and so same thing Puerto Rican, Jamaican, Caribbean food. Brazilian food is not as much seasoning. And so it kind of tastes a little bland. You know what I mean? Not saying it's bad, but it tastes bland. And I guess that also explains why they're so healthy and fit down there, because they don't put much salt, seasoning, stuff like that in their food.
Okay, now was that in Rio and Sao Paulo, or was that mainly like in Rio?
So it was both. But I think I experienced that less in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo had better food. It's more of it. I think they're both international cities, but Sao Paulo is where the money is at. That's where all the best chefs are at, the best restaurants. So because of that, you have the best food.
Got it.
Yeah, Rio was a bit more bland on the food, but there's still good food. You just got to do your research.
Okay. All right. Let me get to some of these comments really quick. Let's see. Nope. JFK and Miami have direct flights in DFW. I think that's Dulles. That's Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas Fort Worth. Okay. All have direct flights to Rio de Janeiro starting in October. Oh, okay. So that's good to know.
Okay.
Miami to Rio. Okay. All right. Did not know that. Yes, definitely make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's see.
I don't know if
I hate mixing Portuguese with Spanish.
There's a thing out there in Brazil that's called Portuno. Like a lot of the locals say Portuno, which is basically when you mix up Portuguese and Spanish together. And that's what I spoke out there. What most Latinos, or I wouldn't say Latinos because Brazilians are also Latinos, but most Hispanics and Spanish speaking countries do when they go to Brazil is they speak Portuno, where they have a basic understanding of Portuguese and then they speak the rest of it in Spanish. Portuno. Yeah, that's what a lot of people speak out there, like Spanish speaking folk.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Let's see.
Yeah,
Brazil has a lot outside of the woman. Yes,
facts.
Absolutely, man. He says, yeah, this is annoying when the ladies do that, mainly because they can't understand we have jobs, but it's a good problem to have.
Hey, man, I mean, the way I look at it, man, is it's their loss. They had the opportunity to do it. There's a couple girls that got mad at me because I didn't hit them up while I was down over there. But I was like, bro, just hit me up. Like, I don't got the time to be hitting people. Hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only gonna hit up the girls I fuck with the most. You know what I mean?
I've noticed that I've noticed that like outside of the United States, the work structure is a little bit more lax, if you will. Not saying people don't work hard, but like in a sense where people will say, oh, maybe like I'll work one day and then have like 3 days off, and then I'll work like 2 days and then have 2 days off. Like, no, it doesn't work like that for us, So like, when they're like, you still at work? I'm like, yes, I'm at work. You was here till 6 o'clock in the morning and it's 6 o'clock at night. Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just different, I guess because like, we're so used to doing like 60 plus hours, especially like, if you have your own business or if you work in corporate America, right? Like there will be times where we were doing like 80 plus hours a week, easy. So it's crazy, man. Okay.
Yeah, it does. I agree with Charles. It really helps out. Portuno.
Vlog Tripping says, in Rio, they add fries to everything.
Papa fritas. See, you gotta add that, man.
Papa fritas.
Papa fritas. Same thing with Spanish. I think it's the same word. Papa fritas.
Yeah, that's the same.
Or batatas fritas. I don't know, it's batata frita or papa fritas. I don't know. I forgot what they call it down over there, but I think it's the same thing.
I say papa fritas.
Yeah, because I know in Colombia, like Spanish speaking, they call it papa fritas. In Spain, they call it batata fritas.
Batata?
Yeah, batata.
See. Oh, like potato. Okay, got it.
Batata.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay. But Vlog is right. They do have fries on everything. You be like, man, can I get scrambled eggs? They put scrambled eggs with fries. You like, damn, man, I just wanted the eggs. I'm really tripping. Food is bland, but they are more healthy.
And see, I'm not lying over here, man. The food and listen, for all my Brazilians that will be watching this or are watching this right now, I'm not dissing the food out there. The food is great, depending where you go. But from my judgment, I felt like it was bland, especially since I've traveled the world and I've tried out everything. Yeah. I felt like it was bland. You know what I mean? And there's good things to that because I feel like it's healthier. And when I was down there, I felt like I was shredding weight a little bit because all I was doing was walking, drinking coconut juice, and the food was bland. So I didn't really feel like it was unhealthy down there, man. So I felt like in peak condition down over there.
Now, well, what I've noticed, like, and I'm a Medi guy, so just to let you know, the food in Medi is bland.
I didn't know.
Just a heads up, it's bland. So one of the reasons why I keep going back and got a place over there is because of the weather. Has some nice scenery too, by the way. But so like the thing is, on a serious note, the food, you're gonna be like, man. I might have to bring some adobo, like in the little pasta or whatever.
It doesn't make much sense to me because the Colombian food here is dope. Like I'll be going to Colombian restaurants, Noches de Colombia. I don't know if you heard of Noches de Colombia in Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best spot, but their food is dope. I fuck with the Colombian food here, but I'm surprised to hear that it's not good in Medellin.
So what I would like where Andre's at along like in Cali. So Cali you have more of the the Afro flavor, right? So because it's near oh my gosh, Buenaventura. So like you have a lot of flavor there. So Medellin is more Eurocentric, so. And I think parts of Rio and Sao Paulo are probably Eurocentric. That's probably why you get like the bland, but they are in great shape. I will say that. And shout out to my man Andre, and Andre love crossing borders. Man, he says, great topic. Gentlemen, will be in Brazil this fall. I am taking notes.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have fun out there, man. It's a good place.
Yeah, for sure. Sao Paulo definitely has better food than Rio, especially the pizza.
And I didn't get to try out the pizza over there. Actually,
man, I'm weary. I'll tell you, man. Like outside of the United States, I am weary on pizza. Like that's something because like I've tried a couple of I've tried pizza in Colombia. I've also tried pizza. I've tried pizza in France. I was like, nah. I was like, if it's not from New York, I'm not really rocking with it.
I would say this, man. I mean, the only other place where I had good pizza, because of course you come from the city. I live, in the tri-state area. We know what good pizza tastes like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the only other place in the world that I've been to that can somewhat compare to the tri-state area is probably Italy itself.
Oh well,
But
of course,
even Italy itself, I would still put New York pizza. This is controversial right here. I would still put New York pizza ahead of it, because the thing about Italy, here's a fun fact about Italy, is their food is very basic. It tastes good, it's quality, but it's basic. They don't put much on their pasta like what we do here. It's a lot healthier over there, which is why people can eat carbs all day, every day, and still be skinny, right? Compared to here in America. But their food is blander. The pizza is kind of like blander. Still great pizza, don't get me wrong. But I still would put New York pizza above that.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Or, but actually, you know what, Charles? I saw Charles had a comment. He said pizza in Naples, Italy is the best. I haven't been to Naples. I passed by Naples, but I've never been to Naples, so I'm gonna have to try.
I've been to I have been to Naples. I've been to Naples. I think I was probably about like 10 or 11 at that time. When I went, but I still think New York is number one.
Yeah, man.
I still think New York is number one with the pizza.
And another fun fact, they don't slice up their pizza out there, because they give you like a pie, like a little personal pie for you, and they don't slice it up. They expect you to slice it up with like a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Y'all can't slice it up for me? What the fuck?
Nah, cause like that, like when you hold it and fold it, like that's not, because I guess we developed that in the United States, because we had to eat it on the go. You're supposed to really cut it, sit it down like you're eating an actual pie, and and sit down and take your time with it. But in New York, tri-state, we are the hustle and bustle. So man, you better cut that thing up, take a slice, and so we walking, eating, and talking all at the same.
It makes sense to me, because when I was in Italy, I was so shocked about that, because you would think they would slice it up in Italy.
Yeah, you don't need to drown your pizza in sauce. Also, the pizza in New York City isn't the best.
I'm assuming
good.
Charles
nowhere near the best. Hold on.
I'm assuming Charles thinks Naples is the best or something. Like
yeah. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I got a couple more questions. So, all right. So let's talk about like the economics and the with the finances, right? So, compared to like other trips, as far as spending and getting quality for the money that you have spent, where would you rank Brazil?
Okay.
One being the best, 10 being, I'm sorry, one being the worst, 10 being the best.
I would say out of all the trips I've been to in terms of finances and best bang for your buck, I mean, I'd probably rate it somewhere between a 6 or a 7. Somewhere between that, because here's why I say that.
Okay.
And you guys can say if you agree or not in the chat, right? But the reason why I say that is because I've been to Europe, and of course, we live in the United States. United States is very fucking expensive. Like, you go to Cheesecake Factory for a date, that's over $100.
You can't even get a chick to go to Cheesecake Factory.
Let's just say if you do got down to earth chick around here and you bring her to Cheesecake Factory, right? You're spending over $100. You go to Applebee's.
Oh, I know.
$100.
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyways, besides, we're not talking about America. But in Europe, like Spain, I thought Spain, and this is another reason why brothers need to go to Spain. Spain is actually one of the more affordable countries in Europe to visit. It's not, I'm not saying it's totally affordable, right? Especially Barcelona. Barcelona can be a little pricey depending where you go, but it's still much cheaper than the rest of Europe. And even that I thought was more expensive than Rio. Now, if you compare Rio to some other Latin American countries like the Dominican Republic, and from what I hear, Colombia, I would say Brazil's more expensive than those countries, right? So it's cheaper than going to Europe, but it's more expensive than other Latin American countries. I think, in fact, Brazil, Uruguay, and I forgot what other country are probably the most expensive Latin American countries to visit. But it's still much cheaper than going to the traveling domestically in the United States or going to Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's good to know. But like you didn't feel like, and just to kind of close the chapter on this, you didn't feel as though you were overspending, right? You felt as though like it was a comfortable price point of where you were at as far as with travel, food, and did you end up like participating in like nightlife, going to the bars?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So I went out to Lapa. So Lapa's a
okay, yeah. I know Lapa. Yep.
yeah, Lapa's a very, let's just say it's a very interesting place. A lot of locals either love it or hate it. I've heard like polarizing opinions about Lapa.
Okay.
Uh and I was told not to go there. It's dangerous. They steal phones, just like anywhere else in Brazil, though, to be honest. But I went to Lapa and there were like entrance fees. I didn't really think it was too expensive. Like it's not that expensive, like I said. Like you'll spend like the most I spent on a night out in Brazil, I think was like $40, 40 American bucks.
Oh wow.
And that's because I was spending, you know what I mean? I was buying my boy a drink and this person, you know what I mean? But it wasn't that bad, man. Honestly,
No,
it
not
wasn't
at all.
that expensive. Like most of the meals when I dined out, like just for me, I was spending like $10 just for myself, $20, 25. The most I spent for myself was $25, $20.
Okay. All right, and so now being a single man, now you're traveling, and it sounds like you went with a couple of your guys. Did was it challenging to find dates? And I know I guess you kind of pre-gamed, if you will, because you have met some,
Yeah.
you had some ladies on TikTok, but I'm sure outside of that, with you being boots on the ground, you met some ladies outside of TikTok, right? So
Yeah.
my question to you, long story short, is was it a challenge for you to meet Brazilian women, and do you think that they were receptive towards you?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. But this is a very tricky question, man, because I'm gonna be honest, and I made a video about this. And
Sure.
as much as I love Brazilian women, like I love them with all my heart, right? But I feel like this is a huge misconception about Brazil. People think that they can go to Brazil and these girls are gonna have the red carpet rolled out for you, that they're gonna bend over backwards for you, that they're like, oh
Mhm.
my god, American, like, and some girls are like that. Don't get me wrong, you will meet girls like that. Oh my god, American, but you're not. I feel like in a place like Rio and Sao Paulo, where there's gonna be more Americans there, some of these girls are used to seeing Americans. You know what I mean? So the wow factor isn't really there as much. Like you still get that, but it's not as crazy. Um, but that's the main thing, man, is learning the language. Like you can go up to chick. I went to a couple of chicks in Brazil and I didn't know much Portuguese. And it was like I was struggling to communicate with them because they didn't know any English. They understood a little bit of Spanish. I didn't really know how to speak Portuguese. So I struggled a little bit to talk to some of them. Some of them I succeeded. So and that's the thing, man, is every single state in Brazil have their different accents. I can understand a carioca, which for those of you who don't know, cariocas are basically people from Rio. Paulistas are people from Sao Paulo, and then every other state has like a name, right? So I understood the carioca accent because I felt like it was very over exaggerated. It sounded cool. I like the way carioca speak, so I
Mhm.
understood them. So if I was talking to a carioca chick, I'd be able to talk to her. I would have a whole full blown conversation. Like
Okay.
sometimes I'd be confused with what they're saying. I would tell them, "Oh, can you repeat yourself?" And they would repeat themselves slowly, and we would talk. But Sao Paulo, I felt like I had more of a problem understanding them because it's to the point. Like when they speak, it's to the point. Cariocas kind of take their time with it. They over exaggerate their words. To answer the question, man, I felt like it was a little bit of both. Like you can get success out there, but the thing is you have to speak the language. If you don't speak the language, you might struggle a little bit. So do your homework before you go over there. It leads me back to the first question you asked. Like do your
Mhm.
homework, and try to go over there with a basic understanding of Portuguese. And if you're a Spanish speaker, you might have a bigger advantage over someone that doesn't speak Spanish, um, just because you're able to speak to them in Spanish and they can somewhat understand you. So
Right.
you're able to meet more people that way, but it's still a little bit difficult because of the language barrier.
I got you. I got you. No, that's really good to know. That's really good to know.
Yeah, do your homework, guys.
Yeah. And so would you say that the women out there are they kind of shy and kind of wait for you to talk to them, or do they come up and approach you? Look at your
See, that's the thing.
face.
That's what I'm saying about Brazil is that
You should have
Brazil.
saw your face as I'm asking you, though.
Nah, man, that's the thing about Brazil is that like
Yeah.
the language barrier is a pain in the ass, right? So like, so to answer your question, they're not shy. Brazilian women are some of the most social women I've ever met in my life. Like, I'm not saying I'm all that, right? I'm not gonna sit over here and lie to you. I'm all that, I'm fucking Namor, I'm this, that. No, I'm not. I'm not all that, right? But when I was over there walking in Copacabana, like literally, guys, if you are in Rio de Janeiro, you don't gotta go to no club to meet chicks. You don't gotta go nowhere crazy to meet chicks. You could do it for free 99. Just go to Copacabana Beach, Ipanema, especially Copacabana, because I feel like Copacabana is where all the shit happens, right? You go to Copacabana Beach, you walk down, you'll get hell of stairs, man. Hella stairs. These girls do not get like this girl broke her neck looking at me. And I told my boy, is she looking at me or is she looking at something? Like, I'm not all that. Why is she looking at me like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how it be. These girls be breaking neck. Sometimes they'll approach you. I've had a couple girls approach me while I was at a bar in the beach. They would approach me and be, hey, like they'll be speaking to me in Portuguese. I wouldn't really understand them. So that's the thing is these girls aren't shy, but once they do open their mouths and speak to you, you may or may not be able to understand them depending on your understanding of Portuguese. So that's the
Okay.
problem is the language barrier. But these girls are fun. They're some of the most sweethearted people you'll ever meet. Like some of the most amazing people, women I've ever met in my life were from Brazil. Brazilian women, like their energy is unmatched, man. Unmatched. I've been to Italy, I've been to France, I've been to Spain. Y'all know I love Spain. I've DR, but no woman. I've dated a Russian woman, by the way. So I have been around a lot of Russian women,
Yeah.
Ukrainian women. All right. But no woman can match the energy of a Brazilian woman, man. I think that's what makes them so damn special. And then on top of that, their beauty is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? You got girls that I saw some of the most beautiful black women I've ever seen in my life in Brazil. You have gingers, blondes, curly haired girls, straight haired girl, any type of girl you want, you can see in Brazil. And there's some of the most social, down to earth women. Like some of these girls don't realize how beautiful they are. You know what I mean? You'll talk to them. I was talking to this one girl that I brought over to the crib, to the apartment in Sao Paulo. And I told her straight the fuck up. I couldn't hold it. I'm like, girl, you're beautiful. And she was like, what? Me? I'm beautiful. I'm like, yeah, you're beautiful. Like some of these girls don't understand their own worth. And that's because they're surrounded by other beautiful women that are just as beautiful as them or maybe more beautiful. So because of that, they don't feel like anything special. But if you took that girl and you put her over here in the tri-state area, she would stick out.
Right. No, and just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, it's like I know that you're gonna be going to Colombia soon, and we'll kind of talk about that. But I just want to say this: it's like that in Colombia as well, and I know Andre in the chat, you can also attest to this, where there's so many beautiful women, and like they think that they're okay, but they think that they may be a 5 or a 6, and you like, girl, you like 8.5, 9.
Yo, for
Like
real.
yeah, like you bad for real. But as you mentioned, there's so many other beautiful women there. So like there's so many women that are congregated around, like, the area where you'll see, like, let's say you're in a room full of, let's say, 100 women, right? A good 80 to 85% of them are like 7 and above, right? So if the woman thinks like she's, like a 7 to 7.5, and she's around all of these other 7s and 8s and a couple of 9s or whatever, she's like, I'm okay, right? And then when you take her, you put her in the tri-state.
Yeah,
Man, listen, man, her DMs is gonna be flooded.
For real.
With summertime. Dudes is pulling up. They get out the car, everything.
But like I said, I feel like the looks is one thing. There's a lot of beautiful women anywhere in the world, but to me, the main
Sure.
selling point for Brazilian women was the energy, the attitude, the way they treat you, the way like how fun they are. Like when you talk to them, I have fun speaking to them. You know, I forgot what it is to have a fun conversation with a woman. You know what I mean? I know a lot of brothers are like, nah, who cares about conversations? It goes straight to the sheets. But sometimes, like, you obviously, I want to meet this girl. I want to know what she about before I bring her over. I ain't trying to bring no random girl over, especially in a foreign country. So I'll be talking to them, and I forgot how much fun it is to talk to a woman, to go on a date, have fun, just talking about anything. You know what I mean? That's how Brazilian women are. They're so much fun. They're very affectionate. They want to kiss. They want to hold hands. They want to do fun things. That I think that's the main selling point with Brazilian women is their energy and attitude.
Right. Now, I'm not sure if you answered this question, so pardon me if you did.
Nah, you good, bro.
But did I asked you if they have they like approached you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they have approached you. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, definitely having a great conversation, and at least for me, right? Because like I'll be 40 in February, and when I was in my early 20s, you know, of course I was ready to get into action, but now like I like to put some seasoning on that thing and let that thing marinate. So I like what you were saying, where like you are actually having a good conversation. You're engaged in a great conversation, great energy, right? Because that's important, right? Because anybody could just, you know, get right to it, right? But like the older I get, like the more, you know, the more I appreciate the conversation. And it's good to hear that you saying that, like, having a genuine, refreshing conversation with a woman, and a Brazilian woman for that matter, and they have good energy and they're upbeat, you know, that's extremely important, man. So that's good to know.
And I guess one final point before we get to the chat and everything, but
go ahead, man.
This is one thing that I experienced in Brazil. I don't know if any other brothers in the chat experienced the same thing. Maybe it just might be me. But when I went to Brazil, you know, like how like the dating is over here, where it kind of makes you a little cold-hearted. Like you're just like, like you don't want to like be talking to too many people. You want to like you're very like whatchamacallit. Yeah, like it's kind of like you don't look forward to shit. You're like, whatever, like let's just get it. You know, I just want to smash or clap cheeks and get it done with. You know, that's the attitude that a lot of brothers have here, man, because just the dating here is just so toxic and terrible. I'm not gonna lie. But when I went over to Brazil, I felt like I was back in middle school. Like, you know that feeling when you get butterflies, or you're like, oh my god, like I haven't felt this shit in a minute. Like a chick is actually cool. I'm having a good conversation where I could be myself. I don't gotta play no games. I don't gotta wait 2 hours to text her back. You know, like these dating coaches be like, oh, you gotta, you gotta wait 2 hours to text her back. All these fucking strategies and shit to fucking talk to a chick. You know what I mean? Over there in Brazil, you could throw that outside the window. Now you still need game in Brazil, but you don't gotta be as, you know, I wouldn't say manipulative, but all those dating strategies you use in America, you don't really got to do in Brazil like that. These girls were like, the girls that I was talking to was hitting me up ASAP. I'll be texting them, and then I would forget to tell them something, and I would double text them like a couple seconds later, and as I'm texting them, they're already texting me. You know what I mean? It would say typing in WhatsApp. I'm like, girl, I just sent the message like 2 seconds ago. Holy shit, like these girls are quick with it. You know what I mean? They're not afraid to show interest. So I feel like after some time, I felt like I was defrosting, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because excuse me, one of the things, and shout out to Jay Clyde. I think Jay Clyde is in Brazil right now too, as a matter of fact.
Have fun out there, brother.
Yeah, so Jay Clyde is a Medi guy, and he's also a Brazil guy. Shout out to my man Jay Clyde. So sorry, excuse me. But what you have mentioned, right? Like when the woman who texts you back and they're showing that they're receptive, right? And it's not this kind of chess game that you got to kind of play, right? Where it's like, okay, like, because whoever shows the most interest is going to be the one who loses, right? You know, it's kind of like a game of chicken, so to speak, right? Because you know, you looking at the phone, she probably looking at the phone. I'm not gonna hit him up. I'm not gonna
That's
hit her
how
up.
it be,
You
man.
know,
I hate that shit,
yeah.
you
So it's
know?
like, yeah. So it's like when you get outside of when you get outside of the gates of the United States and all that bullshit, you don't have to deal with that. You know, because if a girl likes you, she's gonna text you, right? And that's just that. Like she's not gonna wait, or I'm gonna wait like a few hours or a couple of days, when you guys exchange numbers, and it's like, man, like I gave old girl my number like 2 days ago. She still ain't hit me. What's up with that? And then she hits
Yeah.
you like 3 days, like 3-4 days later. Hey, what's up? You like, nah, dog. When a woman outside of the United States, when you guys exchange numbers, she's messaging you right away. Let me get to this super chat really, really quick. Let's see here. So Dre says, as he was talking, I was thinking Colombian women are the same. They were raised around much beauty. They don't see it. Plus, they are very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. The one difference that I will say is that when you have mentioned how like the Brazilian women will like actually come speak to you,
Yeah.
in Colombia they don't do that though. But what they do is they stare you down. Like they stare you down. So like it's like I want you to please come talk to me.
Man, no, Brazilian women are different, man. I had a girl. I went to the bathroom in Rio. Well, let me. So there's bathrooms in Copacabana, right?
Yeah.
Off of the bars. So I went downstairs. It's in the basement, and you have to pay like what 50 cents, 25 cents to go into the bathroom. And there was a chick right there in line waiting to go to the bathroom, and she just started talking to me in the bathroom.
You have to pay every time to use the bathroom?
Yeah, you have to pay like in Copacabana or just the beach in general, that strip, Copacabana, all that. When you go downstairs to the basement, you have to pay to use the restroom. It's like 25, 50 cents, I believe.
Okay.
So that's another culture shock that a lot. And Turkey's the same way, by the way. Turkey, you have to pay to go to use the bathrooms over there too.
Oh man.
So this isn't just something exclusive to Brazil. But when I was down in the bathroom at all places, there was this one chick. She was a little older than me. She was like at least in her late 30s, but still very cute. Blonde hair, cute. I think she was with her mom. And in front of her mom, she just started having a full-blown conversation with me about life, where I'm from. She thought I was cute, this, that. And I'm like, fam, your mom is right there. I felt a little uncomfortable about it. But I was like, all right, if her mom's cool with it, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I started talking to her myself, but that's how easy it is to talk to females down over there. You know what I mean? These girls are some of the most aggressive, but in a good way, aggressive females I've ever come across, man. If they like you, if they really like you, they will approach. Not all the time, but you will get girls that will approach you. I've never experienced that in any other country, really.
Yeah, no, so that's the difference where in Colombia you won't get the approach unless she kind of she looking for that bag, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like a regular beautiful woman, like she's just gonna stare you down though. She's gonna stare you down, and then you come talk to her, and and then of course like the whole conversation.
You know what, Kings? I'd rather take that over what some. Now I'm not gonna bash American women. That's not what I do. But there are a couple rotten apples here in the States that literally will be interested in you. So they're interested in you, but they show no signs of that whatsoever. They pretend like they don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a chick stare me down than that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, because right, like as you mentioned, right. If you're walking, let's say you're walking up and down the street. Let's say you're on let's say let's say you're Midtown, right, and you're on Broadway. You're on Broadway. Broadway, right? You're walking down Broadway, and you happen to walk past a very beautiful, attractive woman. She glances at you, but she doesn't smile. You don't know if she's really interested, right? But let's say she is interested, right? You have to take that chance, which I don't mind, but you have to take that chance in shooting your shot. Whereas, like for what you're saying about Brazil, usually the woman will, come up to you and say something. And then in Colombia, And in Colombia, like they're gonna stare you down.
So I do have something else to add on to that.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, just to warn brothers about it, right? Like if you're
Sure.
into this sort of thing, you're into it, right? But this, I had a couple experiences in Copacabana specifically. So if you're walking in Copacabana, not every girl that approaches you or looks at you is a regular chick, if you know what I mean, right? A regular normal chick.
Oh, okay.
Some girls are looking for clients. You know, that happened to me my first night in Copacabana. I was walking to Copacabana. There was a group of 2 girls. So it was me and my boy, 2 girls, right? They heard us speaking English. So as soon as they hear you speaking English, they know, oh, these are Americans. They got money. These are good clients. They approached us. Homegirl started like kissing me in the cheek and shit. Like, oh, how you doing? She knew a little bit of English. I was surprised about them. Oh shit, someone speaks English here. Goddamn.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, this is my moment. You know what I mean? Like homegirl approaching me, damn, I didn't know it was this easy in Brazil. Shit. You know what I mean? So homegirl's over here talking to me and shit. You know, she's like, oh, what's your WhatsApp? This, that, whatever. She gives me a kiss in the cheek again, walks away with her girl. I hit her up on WhatsApp, and homegirl's like, oh, these are my rates.
Oh,
So I'm letting y'all know, like, if you into that, I'm not judging you, but I'm just letting you know, not every girl that approaches you or that looks at you is a regular chick, especially in Copacabana.
okay. Got it. That's good to know, man. That's good to know. All right, let me get to some more of these comments here, and I have a few more questions for you, man. But this has been a great conversation. Oh, please make sure that you do subscribe to my guest Jamie Wood's channel. That is the
Appreciate
link right there. Definitely make sure that you subscribe. He also has TikTok, also Instagram. So make sure that you guys check him out there, man. Definitely make sure you check him out. Let's see. Also, make sure that you guys subscribe to Andre and Andrea. Love Crossing Borders. Definitely check him out, man. I think Dre, you're at about 20K on Love Crossing Borders, man. So continue doing your thing. Cortez Smith says, you don't have to bash American women; they bash themselves. All right. Let's see here. It's common for a woman to approach you
it depends,
outside
brother.
the United States.
I have to comment on that one. It depends where you go.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
In
yeah.
Europe,
I was gonna say,
in
yeah,
Europe,
yeah, not
in
in
Europe,
Colombia, bro.
yeah, go ahead, my bad.
No. You're my guest. You talk. You should be the talker. I should be. Don't worry. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Mr.
So
Wild.
just to get over with it real quick. So in Europe, Europe is very similar to the States, right? They share a lot of ideologies similar to the United States, very progressive. So over there, like, it's weird. Europe is like Spain specifically. Spain, like, because Spain is conservative, but it's also very liberal. It's like a weird mix out in Spain. So you can get girls that will approach you in Spain, but a lot of the time they expect you to approach them similar to how it is in America. Now they
Oh,
will
okay.
throw choosing signals your way, right? In America, I mean, I can't really remember the last time I got a choosing signal in America, but in Spain they can do that, right? But for most places, I've been to Italy, I've been to France, other places. I mean, the only places I can think of where girls are a bit more aggressive is the Dominican Republic, but Brazil being number one from where I've been to. So I mean, I get what you're saying, brother, but that's not every country outside of the United States. Some countries are a little similar to the United States when it comes to females approaching.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Four out of five, maybe 90% are timeshares. Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
know what he means by that.
Yeah. So it's the majority. So you may have to like stay out of that
Yeah,
area, man.
just go. I mean, if you're trying to avoid that, man, go further up. Copacabana is the craziest out of the three, in my opinion. Ipanema's more relaxed, more locals are there. Leblon's more upscale. You know what I mean? You're still gonna find, because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's legal in Brazil. There's gonna be a ton of shit going on in Brazil. You know what I mean? A lot of you know what going down in Brazil. So you
Yeah,
can't
sure.
escape it. You know what I mean? But if that's something you're not cool with, Copacabana, I would kind of stay away from Copacabana because that more of that goes down in Copacabana.
Gotcha. All right. Good information. Colombia Colombianas will give you that come hither. It's there.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to go to Colombia to experience that.
Yes, it's the so yeah, it's the like it's the stare like yes, like I want you to come get me. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know when I get back from Colombia how it went. So,
oh, trust me, you're gonna be more than fine, brother.
nah, brother, I know what he's referring to. I'm not judging brothers that do that. I'm not one of those guys that do that. You know what I mean? If that's something you want to do and it's legal and they're of age, it is what it is. But not judging.
All right. So in Italy, it's extremely tough to pull women. They definitely are traditional. Now, did you end up going to Italy with your lady, or were you?
Well, I was out there with family. But from my experience, I had one experience where I went to ice cream parlor where there was this beautiful. That's the thing about Italian women, man. There's some beautiful Italian women. Italy is another country that's slept on when it comes to women. Italy's very. I saw some stunning women in Italy, man. Like literally almost my skin color, like tan with blue eyes, dark hair, beautiful. So I was in was it Amalfi or Positano? It was Positano. I was in Positano, and I went up to an ice cream parlor, and there was this one chick out there that was serving ice cream. She gave me the only stare and all that. She seemed extremely interested. Like I don't think it was being nice. I think she was genuinely interested. You know what I mean? But Italian women, I mean, I sort of agree with him in a sense. Like it can be tough, but at the same time, like there are some Italian women that are looking for brothers. There's some Italian women that are looking for Americans, you know. So it just depends where you're at, man.
Okay, gotcha. If you want to join in Copa, visit the restaurants, the pharmacies, groceries, etc.
Yeah, I agree.
My man Jay Burden is in the building. What is up? What is up? Nothing wrong with that stare. At least they're giving you choosing.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No, we weren't saying that there was anything wrong. So the comparison of Jay Burden was more or less how Brazilian women will actually come up and approach you, where Colombian women will look at you and say, you know, come hither, as Andre said.
Let me also comment on that, Kings, because I don't want people to get it twisted either when they go to Brazil. I don't want them to be like, oh, Jamie Woods was wrong. You know, he's wrong. He's giving us false information. Now, when I said Brazilian women would approach you, I've only been to two cities. I've been to Rio and I've been to Sao Paulo. Rio, you're more likely to see that. Rio girls from Rio are aggressive.
Yeah,
they can be aggressive depending where you go. So they're more likely to approach you. If you go to Sao Paulo, it's a little bit different. The girls out there are more Americanized out in Sao Paulo. So they expect you to make the move in Sao Paulo. And the way the girls act like in Sao Paulo, it's similar to Americans. Not as crazy, not to that extreme, but they're more Americanized out in Sao Paulo. So you will have to approach them in Sao Paulo. But it's much better to date in Sao Paulo than what it is to be dating around over here.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. I don't sleep on Italy. I've been there 4 times. You would have to leave the cities for Italy. You probably need to leave the major cities. However, dating them is like back in the day. You're starting as friends, then you couple up. Understood.
That's what I heard about Italian women.
Okay. Gangster Talk Eclipse. What up, my fellow Plantano?
Oh, what's good? Que lo que?
What's going on? Okay, all right. So I got a few more questions for you. We are over the 1 hour 20-minute mark.
Man, I got no rush, man. I can talk about Brazil all day. I love Brazil.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, listen, man. This is a weekday. I need energy for tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow for the gym, so I get you.
Nah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
So how would you compare the beaches to Brazil to the other beaches that you've been to around the world, even your native country, Dominican Republic?
So I would say, out of all the beaches I've been to worldwide, my 2 favorite beaches in the world is Barceloneta in Barcelona for specific reasons, and then of course Ipanema. But I actually like Copacabana, like, because it's Copacabana Beach, there's Ipanema, and then there's Leblon, and then there's a ton of other beaches in Rio. There's a ton of them, right? But I've only been to 2 of them, which is Copacabana and Ipanema. So I feel Ipanema was a better vibe, was the best vibe I experienced.
Yeah.
Because just the scenery is epic. You get that mountain in the background, like that just is beautiful, man. I feel like Brazilians take beach culture very seriously, man. It's almost like I keep saying this in my videos, but you don't got to go to the club in Rio to have fun. You can literally go to a beach and have fun. Like I literally remember I went to Mundo Lingo in Ipanema. So Mundo Lingo, think of it almost like a language exchange type of event.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of it, Kings.
Yeah.
But they have one in yeah. But it's I think they also have one in Colombia too, right? Medellin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do have a language exchange in Medellin.
Yeah, so it's all around the world too. But they have 2 of them or 3, I think. They have 2. I only know 2 of them. So there's one in Panama and then one in Botafogo, I believe. So I remember coming out of there, having a good time. It was literally like 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. We were walking. It was me and my boy walking by ourselves in Ipanema and Copacabana, which they advise you not to do at night, especially that late at night. And we did it anyway. So we're like, fuck it. Let's see how dangerous this shit is. We were unharmed, by the way. But besides the point, the main point of this is the beach at 2 a.m. in the morning on a Monday night. Because I think the events for Mundo Lingo and Ipanema happens on Monday night. It was packed. 2 a.m. on a Monday night. People playing volleyball, foot volley, which, by the way, if you guys don't know it, think of it almost as like a combination of soccer or football and volleyball together, where they're playing volleyball with their feet, right? They're kicking it up in the air and playing it like, or they're heading it or whatever it is, or using their chest. It's like a volleyball, but kind of mixed in with soccer.
Oh, okay.
So you have people drinking, playing sports, diving in the pool, blasting Brazilian music at 2 a.m. in the morning on a Monday. That is the vibe you'll get in Rio de Janeiro. That is the vibe you'll get in Brazilian beaches, man. Like, these people don't believe in work days. Like, some of these people, I question myself. Like, do you guys have jobs? You guys work
Right.
out here? Like, what the? It's 2 a.m. on a Monday. I expected this to be dead. Copacabana was lit that night. I have video proof of this. If you guys don't believe me, I have video proof of it. Like, literally, these people were like jamming out, going crazy, girls twerking, this, that. They be having beach parties at night. And during the day is the same vibe. Like, it's packed. People having fun. People drinking. You literally, like, you can get anything delivered to you. Like, when I went to Copacabana Beach and I was sitting there, like, they get you a chair, they get you a table, they get you drinks, they even got me food, right? They got me food, they got me chocolate, sweets, whatever I wanted. They treated me like a king on that beach. And then once you're done, of course, you would pay them afterwards. So they stack up the bill, right? They accumulate the bill, and then you pay at the end of it. That's the way it usually works in those beaches over there.
Okay.
But it's so much fun, man. But I would say another one that brothers are sleeping on is Barceloneta Beach in Barcelona. And the main selling point of that one is it's a topless beach. It's topless.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think most of the beaches in Spain are topless. And even the pools, you'll go to a rooftop pool or you'll go to like a community pool, and community pools in Spain aren't like, I know in the United States they're frowned upon. Oh, you're going to a community pool in the States. Like, people, they frown upon that type of shit over here. They view that as gross here in the United States. But in Spain, that's a big thing. Like, people go to community pools out there, and it's no problem. And even girls out there were topless. I'm like, what the hell was going on here? Like, my ex at the time was shocked because she wasn't used to that. She comes from Russia, where it's very conservative.
Very conservative.
Yeah, but I would say Brazil has the best beach culture bar none, man. It's dope, good time, good vibes, music. You can't beat it.
Nice. That's great to know, man. Okay, and then the nightlife, right? So we talk about the nightlife. Did you go to the club in Rio and Sao Paulo, or was it just one of them?
So I mostly went out in Rio.
Okay.
Because Sao Paulo also has a very good nightlife. In fact, I people kept saying before I went there that Sao Paulo in some ways is better than Rio, even though I didn't believe that. But Rio nightlife is dope, man. Like I went out, like I said, I went out to Lapa. Like you don't got to do the most to have fun out in Rio. Like literally, you go outside your apartment and they'll be having a block party. They'll have a barbecue outside, right in front of your crib, your apartment. Like there's fun everywhere in Rio.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's such a lit city. It's
Yeah.
very vibrant. There's so much going on. Sao Paulo can be the same way depending where you are. I was in Pinheiros, which is a very upscale area in Sao Paulo. Now, I didn't get too much experience with going out in Sao Paulo. I'm gonna be honest with you, because my time was limited in Sao Paulo because I decided to have less days in Sao Paulo because I heard it's not as good as Rio. So I didn't really get to experience the nightlife as much, but I did go out and it was pretty fun, man. But I feel like Paulistas are more reserved compared to Cariocas that are just crazier. Like they're just
yeah,
partiers.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. You know, so your timeline for going back. Now you said that Brazil is calling you, but
Yeah, it is.
But I don't recall you saying like a timeline. So is it going to be okay, so we're in July and August you are going to Medellin.
Yeah.
So okay, so can we say probably between October and November? Is that when Brazil is coming back on the
So
radar?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if it wasn't for this trip in Colombia in the end of August, going into September, I would have been in Brazil again around that time because my birthday is on Labor Day.
He said, run it back. He said, run it
I
back.
ran it back, bro. I was ready to go back down there, but family comes first at the end of the day. And I never been to Colombia, so I'm interested in that. So I'm thinking budget wise. You know what I mean? I'm not, and also vacation days. I don't have that many vacation days to work with for the rest of the year. So I'm gonna use them wisely. So I'm gonna go to Colombia. I'm gonna stack up my bread, and then I'm gonna come. I'm gonna start the year strong with Rio, and I'm gonna go to Rio. I'm gonna go to Salvador Bahia and Florianopolis. I'm skipping on Sao Paulo, and not saying Sao Paulo's bad. I actually like Sao Paulo, but I want to experience a different city that I haven't experienced, or different cities I've never experienced before.
Okay.
So February is the timeline for all that. So be prepared.
Oh man, well, my birthday party. I can't really speak about it yet publicly because I don't want the public to know yet. But I'm doing something big for my birthday, so just be mindful. Let's be mindful.
Dude, come to Rio, man.
No. It's big. It's bigger than what you think. It's bigger. It's much bigger than what you think. So I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it in front of everybody. We'll talk offline. But
all right.
All right. So you are going to Brazil top of 2025.
Yeah.
Understood. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So name 2 to 3 things that people should know about Brazil that has not been spoken about enough. So let's do it like this. Let's do 2 great things and maybe 2 potential watch outs.
All right, so 2 watch outs. I'll start. I like starting with the bad and then going with the good. All right, so I have to really think about this. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm not trying to repeat what I've said before. I may repeat. I don't know, but
sure. It's
number one that you have to watch out with, a negative about Brazil is phone theft.
Oh yeah.
All right, there's phone theft. So be very careful with that. And the reason why phone theft is such a big thing, I made a video about this. Phone theft is huge in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil specifically, because phones out there are so expensive because of the import tax. So because of that, it's 2-3 times the amount that you would pay for here in America. And people out in Brazil can't afford to do that. And on top of it, you have to think as a thief. All right, if I rob this dude and I sell this, that's a couple months of rent right there. I'm good.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can feed their families off of that. So that's why phone theft is such a big thing out there. So when I went out there, I bought myself an anti-theft. What was the name of this thing? It was a clutch pop, right? So it's a clutch pop. So it basically hooks onto your pants. So if someone tries to rob you, they can't really do it. You know what I mean? So I bought that over there when I went over there. Because that's a huge thing. Like literally, motorcycles will come out of nowhere and just steal your phone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And good luck trying to chase them. In fact, I don't recommend you chase them because you don't know what they got on them. Like Rio can be dangerous depending where you go. Like the favelas ain't no joke. You know what I mean? It ain't no joke where the people with guns, chilling with guns, like if it's regular, you know what I mean? Be very careful with that. Police don't fuck around over there either. I heard stories about brothers getting pulled up by cops with guns for no reason. They didn't do anything, but the cops would pull up with them like, yo, was good, because they thought that they were someone else. So be careful with that type of stuff. You know, don't try to fight these people. Don't just let it be. You know, just don't. You're in a foreign country. You don't want to be saying or doing anything stupid out there.
Right.
What's another con? So actually, I have a story, a quick little story about how I almost got robbed. This is another thing y'all need to watch out with.
Oh yeah, man. Let's definitely hear this one, brother.
I almost got robbed in Rio de Janeiro. So I'm gonna cut to the point. I'm gonna get through this very quickly. But
Sure.
basically, Copacabana Beach. All right. Again, Copacabana. It all comes down to Copacabana Beach. All right. So I went by myself to one of the bars, one of those bars by the beach. Right. It was midday, noon, happy hour. I had a picanha. I had some caipirinhas, and it was cheap. Right. The caipirinhas were like half off or whatever it was. It was happy hour. So I had a ton of different caipirinhas. Right. We had morango. I think the main one is limon, right? So I had a bunch of different ones, right? Cerveja, which is beer. So I was a little tipsy, I was a little wavy. So I came out of there and I was trying to go to the bathroom. Like I said, so you have to go down the stairs and it's in the basement, right? But this particular bathroom, outside of it, were these guys, these street vendors. They looked like they were from the favelas. So they were selling a bunch of different stuff like jerseys, all that type of stuff, right? So I engaged with these people because I saw they were wearing like a soccer jersey. So one of them was wearing like a Bayern Munich jersey. And that was the day. I don't know if you guys follow football or soccer like that. That was the day. I think it was Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. So I had jokingly said, "Oh, yo, they're gonna lose today. Arsenal's gonna beat them, right?" I hate Arsenal, by the way. So he was like, "Oh, let's make a bet on it then, bro." So he took out his money from his pocket. Let's make a bet on that. And I was like, "Nah, dog. I'm just playing around, right?" So he's like, "All right, cool." And I was like, "Yo, guys, I'll be back and go to the bathroom." I went to the bathroom, this, that, whatever. Came back up. They were there. My dumbass, all right. So I'm gonna take accountability for this, right? So my dumbass, I told them, "Hey guys, do you know where I can get chairs and stuff for the beach, like towels for the beach?" Because I didn't know how it worked out there, right? That was my first time going to the beach out there. I didn't know how it worked, and I didn't see any shops that sold anything. So I told them, "Guys, you know where I could get like a chair, towel for the beach?" So the guy was like, one of the guys like stood up and folded the chair, the beach chair that he had, and like gave it to me. He's like, "Here you go, brother. Take this over here." And I was like, "How much is it?" And he's like, 50 reais. So 50 reais, I believe. Hold on a second. Let me do the calculation for y'all real quick. I want to give you exact numbers here, right? So I have a currency app over here. So we're talking 50 reais. So let's reverse it. So 50. All right, so that's not too. So it's about, you see yet? All right, it's about $10, right? 50 heights, $10, right? So he gave me that. And I was like, all right, he's giving me a chair. It's only $10 or whatever, right? Then he gave me like a towel on top of it. Hey man, take a towel while you're at that, like one of those towels lay on the beach, right? That was another 50 reais. So we're talking about 100 reais. That was about $20. And then guess what? This jersey that I'm wearing right here was another 50 reais because I wanted to buy a jersey. I was like, man, I want a Brazil jersey. So this was another 50 reais. So we're talking about, I think about 150 now, right? So what happened was what happens, and you guys need to watch out for this. This is a huge thing you guys need to watch out for. Everywhere in Brazil, which is a good thing, I guess that's a pro, and a pro and a con. But pro about Brazil is that anywhere you go to, they can accept card. Literally, you can go down to the bathroom, they'll accept card. They have card reading machines everywhere you go in Brazil. Everywhere you go, there's card reading machines, which doesn't make any sense to me in the United States that I can go to a shop and they don't have a card reading machine. They don't accept card. I don't get it because Brazil, which is quote unquote a third world country, right, has card reading machines everywhere you go. It doesn't make any sense, but regardless. So basically, they took out the card reading machine. It was time to charge me. So what they're supposed to do is they put in the amount that they're going to charge you, which in this case was 150 reais, right? So they put in the amount, they show it to you, they turn it around, they show it to you, so that way you know how much they're charging you. And then from there, you tap it, you chip it, whatever the case is, you swipe, and then that's it. That's how the transactions work. However, I saw he put in an amount but didn't show me anything. So I was like, dog, I've been in Brazil for a couple days now. Usually everyone turns it around. How much are you charging me? I told him in Spanish. And he was like, nah, don't worry about it, brother, man. 150 reais, 150 reais, right? So basically, I told him, no, turn it around. Turn it around. I started getting a little aggravated because I'm like, bro, I'm not stupid. I'm a little tipsy, but I'm not that stupid. Turn it around. He didn't want to turn it around. I told him again. I was being more sort of turn it around. And then he was like, okay. And he went like that, turn it back around quickly. So I was like, something's up, bro. I had like a gut feeling. His boys started getting involved, and they're all from the favela. So they came in, but they weren't being threatening about it or anything. They were being cool about it. Oh, bro, don't worry about it. Because they weren't trying to give off the impression that they were trying to, like rob me or whatever the case is. So basically, I told him, turn it around again. Because I was willing to go to war at that point. I was like, fuck it. I'm a little tipsy. I know it's stupid. You're in a foreign country, favela boys, whatever. But I was like, fuck it. I'm tipsy. I'm ready to go to war. I told him, turn that shit around, or else I'm not paying this shit. So he turned it around. He covered it up with his thumb. So all I saw was a 1 and a 5, but I didn't know how many zeros were attached to that. So I was like, bro, turn it around. Let me see the amount. I started getting very aggravated. His boys started getting more involved. This time they seemed a little bit more annoyed. So I was like, all right, you know what? Because the card I gave him was a Cashapp card. So usually when I go out of the country, I like using Cashapp cards. Because one, I'm not trying to use my credit cards like that, right? I want to be able to use the cash that I saved up for that trip, not credit cards. So I use Cashapp cards. So I transfer $100 at a time. In Brazil, $100, I mean, on average, you're probably going to be spending about that much or a little less in Brazil, depending on how crazy you're going, right? So I put $100 each day into that card. So I had $100 in that Cashapp card. Keep in mind, this is 150 reais. So let me go back again, because I want to give you the exact number. So 150 reais, that's $27, about $30, right? $30. I had $100 in that Cashapp card at that moment. So I was like, you know what? I have $100. If they rob me, they only rob me for $100, whatever. But at least I make it out alive, whatever. Cool. Fuck it. So he tapped it. It declined. My bank literally declined it. I was like, what's going on here? I have $100. I didn't tell him that, but in my head, I'm like, I have $100 in this account. Why is it not going through? So they kept doing it, switching machines, this, that, whatever. They started getting frustrated. And then finally, after like 10 minutes of us standing around there, finally it went through. So I was like, all right, cool. I took my shit. And the crazy part is I was pissed at the guy because I wanted a Vinicius Junior Brazil jersey. He gave me a Neymar Junior jersey. So I was already pissed about that when I saw that, because I didn't realize that until I started walking to the beach. But then I got even more pissed when I saw that you can literally rent chairs and all that from the beach itself, because they have tents that sell that for like 5-10 reais. I paid 50 reais for my chair and another 50 for the freaking towel. So I got robbed on there, right? But the main thing I was pissed about, and I wanted to confront them so bad about that, was they tried to charge me $1,000. They tried to charge me $1,000. It didn't go through, so that's why I got declined. Then they did 900, 800, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. They ended up, they stopped after 200. They stopped after 200 USD because they probably thought, all right, this guy broke. Like, this American got no money. Let's just charge him however much that we said we were going to charge him and at least walk out with some money. I think that's what their mentality was. You know what I mean? And so they charged me the $30 that they were supposed to charge me. But I was still pissed off that they even attempted to do that to me. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, guys, is God is looking out after y'all. You know what I mean? Sometimes people are out to get you. People have bad intentions to screw you over, to rob you, whatever the case is. But like, if you're a good dude and you're a good heart and you're doing good thing for the people, you're looking out for people, you're a positive dude, you know what I mean? You're ambitious, you're hardworking. God's going to protect you. And he protected me at that very moment, man. You know what I mean? Because I could have been robbed for a lot of money. Let's just say if I paid with my regular debit card where I had much more than $100, I would have been robbed for all that. Like, you know what I mean? And I know to some brothers, $1,000 ain't shit. You know, I know there's a lot of successful brothers that travel, but $1,000 is still money. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dudes in America that don't even have $1,000 in their savings account right now for an emergency fund. You know what I mean? So imagine they would have robbed me for $1,000. I would have been tight. You know, so that's the thing, brothers. They almost robbed me right there, man. I mean, they technically did because they kind of instead of me paying 10 reais for a chair, they charged me 50 for the chair. So yeah. So watch out.
No, but I mean, you know, you're definitely right. But here's the thing: like as you mentioned, $1,000 is $1,000. Like
that's still money.
Even absolutely. Even if you're someone that's well to do, you don't want to lose $1,000. So I'm paying $1,000 for what, a chair, a jersey, and what was the other thing?
So it was a chair, a towel, and a jersey. So this very jersey that I'm wearing
$1,000 for I would have been pissed. I would have been.
Well, I wanted to go back and fight them so bad, but I was like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna risk my life over that. Whatever. They charged me however much they said they were. So they charged me $30, right? After it kept getting declined. So I was like, whatever. They charged me $30. They still kind of ripped me off because I could have gotten a chair for 10 reais, but it is what it is.
No, but exactly what Charles just said. $1,000 is $1,000, bro. It doesn't matter if you are well to do or not, man. Like, nah. Especially for that, because like here's the thing, especially for guys who are, you know, higher value, if you will. Like we work hard for that, man. We work hard to be able to relax and you know, spend our money. We don't want our money to be taken from us on like frivolous things. Nah, man. You got to move the right way. I'm not saying you, but I'm talking about in general.
Yo, so that was one of the few times.
A grand is a grand. I don't care how successful one claims to be. Exactly. No, I agree 1,000% of what Charles is saying, man. Let's see what else.
No, I agree with Charles, man. That was my mistake. I'm not doing that again. But hopefully, I'm telling y'all that story, and I made that video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So you guys can check that out. By the way, I made all that to prevent other brothers from doing the same mistake that I made. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to admit that I slipped up that time. And it could have been a grand mistake, but I'm happy it didn't turn out that way. God protected me.
Yeah, why didn't you just walk away? Because I mean, like were you already wearing the jersey?
So I had the jersey, everything in my hand. So my thing was, they already had the card in their hand. They were trying to do it, and it kept getting declined.
So like why didn't you just like, you know, just give them the stuff back and just be like, hey man, give me my card?
You see, but that's the thing, man, is I'm not gonna make any excuses for myself. That was a rookie mistake on my part.
No, it's all good.
Of course, you can say I was tipsy at that very moment, so I wasn't really clearly thinking. You know what I mean? Right. I had a gut feeling something was wrong, but then on top of that, you're talking about guys from the favela. You know what I mean? Once you say you're gonna buy something, and you try to walk off. I don't know what the reaction is gonna be.
Okay, so you didn't want, like, you didn't want.
I wasn't trying to escalate shit. You know what I mean?
I got you.
5-6 guys from the favela. I don't know if they got guns or anything on them.
Right. So Miss Polly has this question. So shout out to Miss Polly. You can read that, man. I don't know what's going on.
Are there a lot of trans people in Brazil? So now that's another thing you need to watch out with in Brazil, right? Because there's a lot of trans people in Brazil. You know what I mean? I literally was in Sao Paulo, and literally there was this one chick wearing a red dress, right? Red dress, red lipstick. Like, she kind of looked good from the back. You know what I mean? Like, and I was about to approach her and shit, you know, in Sao Paulo. She was literally in my building that I was in Pinheiros. I was literally about to approach her, and I'm a little blind, you know. I'm not, my sight isn't the best. My boy had to stop me. He went like that to me, like, nah, bro, don't even go up to her, bro. That's not a her, that's a him. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, that's a trans. She's trans. I was like, what? And then she turned around. I saw how big her shoulders was and everything. I was like, oh, hell no, bro. You say me, bro. Hey, bro. But since I was like, I think she or he, or whatever you want to refer, she picked up on the fact that I was going to approach her. And since then, and since we lived in the same building, I would see her every single day looking at me like crazy, like looking at me like, you know, those eyes, those that stare, like come approach me. I don't go that way, fam.
Nah. Shout out to Miss Polly though for that. But yeah, we don't you know, as you know, as my man from Wakanda would say, we don't do these things here.
No. Be
Here.
careful with that, man, Brazil.
Definitely got to be careful. Got to be careful. Let's see what Charles just said. The smartest thing you did was transfer that $100 to your Cash App card. Also,
I'm so glad I did that,
like
man.
that
Guys, please
will
do
get
that.
flagged. Yep.
If you go overseas, man, like do that, man. Don't even use your debit because also the international fees that stacks up. My bank
That's a
charges
good
you.
idea. The Cash App card. Yeah,
Yeah, use the Cash App
absolutely.
card.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Excellent idea. Let's see. Miss Polly says hello. Your man says, I'm sure them Brazilian booties are wild over there.
Brother, don't make me go back, man.
Let's see. I got options.
In Brazil?
I rejected 360 plus women. Where is this?
Que lo que?
Que lo que?
I don't know about rejecting 360 plus women, man. That's crazy.
You're right.
I don't think I rejected that many women in my life, man.
Drinking and spending is a bad move.
Yeah, brothers. See, again, like I'm willing to make myself sound like an idiot to help you guys from falling into that same trap, into that same mistake. Do not buy from street vendors. And the other thing is make sure they show you the amount before like you go ahead and give them your card for them to swipe it, man. Because these people will try to rob you out there.
Yep. Agreed, man. Agreed. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. So I'm pretty much we're pretty much gonna wrap this thing up, man. But brother, I definitely appreciate you sharing your story, right? And whether people think you were right, wrong, or indifferent, you shared your story. You definitely gave some good knowledge. Oh, actually, no, you had the two watch outs. Now you got to do the two positive things now.
The two positive things about Brazil. I'm trying to think about this one.
That haven't really been spoken about that people should know. Because you mentioned the two negative things, the like the pickpocket or people like on the motos that would like snatch your phone. That's it's like that in Colombia too.
Yeah,
so,
from what I hear.
Yeah, it's like that in Colombia too. But also I've heard that it's like that in Kenya. So I think that for the most part, it's outside of the United States because of how expensive it is to get like an iPhone or like the Galaxy to get those imported into those countries. Because Jamaica they'll do that too, but like it's like depending on where you at in Jamaica, like they won't just pickpocket you like that. Like they'll pull the chopper out on you and just say, "Yeah, man, you just have to give me a thing." You see it.
Facts.
That just means you have to give me what you have. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they pull out the big gun, dog, and that's it.
Yeah. Lucky for me, I didn't go through anything like that in Brazil.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So the two positive things, man, and then I'll get you out of here on that one.
So it's something that I kind of sort of mentioned before, but it's the best thing to me about Brazil. Brazil is one of those places in the world, right? Because when let me start off by saying this. Barcelona, the best thing about Barcelona, I felt it was the architecture, the beaches, all that, right? Paris, Eiffel Tower, beautiful architecture, just literally anywhere you go, it's like a work of art, right? It's beautiful city. With Brazil, it isn't like sure, you would think that the main highlight of Brazil would be the mountains and the nature and the beaches, but the main highlight and the best thing about Brazil are the people. The people are some of the best people you'll meet in your freaking life. They're welcoming, they're sweet, they're nice, they'll embrace you, right? Like literally, they will treat you like family. They'll invite you over to their house. They'll cook for you. The women are some of the sweetest women I ever met in my life, the most fun people I ever met in my life. They're always partying, always having a good time. They believe in Brazil, similar to Spain and some countries in Europe, of course. They believe in working to live and not the other way around. In America, I feel like a lot of brothers get themselves in the hamster wheel, right? and even sisters too. They'll get themselves in the hamster wheel where it's about living to work. Right? There's a lot of people out here that have 2-3 jobs, or they're struggling to make ends meet with 2-3 jobs. You know what I mean? In Brazil, yes, people do struggle out there, obviously, right? People struggle to make ends meet over there too. However, they balance it out because their life is fun. Family is important over there. Having a good time is important. Living life is important. The quality of life out there is amazing, similar to how it is in Spain as well. I would say that's the best thing about Brazil is the people, man. Like, it's unmatched. Like I said, I have a deep, deep, deep love for Brazilian women. I think my future wife, and the thing is, I'm conflicted about marriage, right? But if I were to get married, it would 100% be to a Brazilian woman, unless Colombian women in Colombia can change my mind. But that's one thing about Brazil, and the best thing about Brazil, it's the people. The second thing, now it gets a little hard because I feel like I'm repeating myself. So yeah, the nightlife is dope. Cost of living is cool. I'm trying to think of something I didn't think about before. Uber's transportation is very cheap and they're very quick. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need to rent a car or anything like that. You can literally order off of the Uber app. They'll be there within seconds. It gets quick. That's another thing about Rio and Sao Paulo. The everything is quick out there, right? So if you're trying to go anywhere, man, you order it, only a couple bucks, $3-5 to take you from one end of the town to the other, and it's quick. Rappi, make sure to download Rappi. I'm sure Colombia is the same thing.
Yeah,
Rappi,
we have Rappi.
Yeah, Rappi is dope. It's like, if you guys don't know what Rappi is, that's like the Uber Eats version of South America. And Brazil is very popular. I even heard they can deliver money to you. I don't know how true that is.
It is very true.
Yeah, so if y'all don't, like, in Brazil, like, we actually got yelled at in Brazil for going to ATM machine at night. And I get it. That's a rookie mistake. That's another rookie mistake I made, was going to an ATM machine with my boy at night. This was around 7-8 o'clock at night. We went to ATM machine and we went to a Santander to get money out for something. And so basically, they were closing around that time. The guy literally yelled at us, like, guys, what are you guys doing? It's late. Brazil's dangerous. What are y'all doing, right? But besides the point, Rappi can deliver money to you. It's a great service. I'm trying to think what else. Another thing I loved about Brazil is the diversity in both the people and, of course, the cities. Like, it feels like you're in different worlds sometimes. Like, Rio is not like Sao Paulo and vice versa. And I would assume Salvador Bahia, Florianopolis, other places are much different from the others as well. Sao Paulo feels more like a New York City, American type of vibe, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it has this Brazilian flavor to it, right? And then Rio feels like party central. It feels like Miami, Florida, like you're in California, like you about to get lit, right? It's so diverse and different. And the people are so diverse. Like I said, like, you'll meet black people, white people, curly hair people, straight hair people, like any type of mix you can think of. I met Japanese. If you guys are into Asian women, right? But because I think the biggest critique about Asian women, not to come at my Asian women or any of my brothers that like going to Thailand, Philippines. I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful women out there. But if y'all want a thick Asian woman with curves, go to Brazil. Specifically, Sao Paulo. Specifically, go to Liberdade. Liberdade is a Japanese area within Sao Paulo where there's a bunch of Japanese Brazilians there. There's a bunch of Japanese people in Brazil, and they're thick. They're beautiful. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. You'll meet a lot of beautiful Japanese people. In fact, that's another thing I forgot to leave off. I don't know if I mentioned it. Brazil has the highest population of Japanese people outside of Japan. Right? So if y'all into that, go to Brazil. Lebanese people, a lot of Lebanese people in Brazil, Germans, Italians, anything you can think of is in Brazil. Brazil got everything for everybody, right? There's a flavor for everyone over there. You know what I mean? Tons of diversity. So I would say those are basically the best things about Brazil, right? That I can think of out of the top of my head. I'm sure by the time we're done with this, I'll probably think about some more and I'm going to be mad at myself I didn't mention it. But those are the best things I can think of about Brazil.
Man, dropping gems. My bro is dropping gems. Now, I did not know about the Japanese thing, that Brazil has the most people outside of Japan. I did know about the black thing. I did know about the black thing because But a lot of people don't know that Brazil has the most black people outside of the continent of Africa, and also that the country Brazil is about 2/3 the size of the United States, and I want to say Brazil is about 70% black, I believe.
Around
So
there, around that range. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's very it's
Very
very
diverse,
interesting.
man. But like I
Yeah,
said, y'all want an Asian chick that's thick, go to Sao Paulo, go to Liberdade, go to Brazil.
got it, man. All right, let's get a last few of these comments here. Let's see here. I never go to ATMs at night. I've used Rappi 100 times to get cash delivered to my house or restaurants in minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and again, I'm gonna mention this again. I'm only saying this. I'm willing to make myself seem like a rookie and like an idiot to help everyone else out to not make those same mistakes. And I didn't know Rappi did that up until I literally my last day in Brazil, and they told me, "Oh, you know, you could get money from Rappi." I'm like, "What?" Well, like y'all couldn't tell me this before, but that was a rookie mistake on me. Lucky for me, I went with my boy. I wasn't alone, and that guy told us what he did. I'm glad that he told us that because we never did that again after that.
yeah, you definitely. Yeah, I agree with what Andre said. You definitely don't want to go to the ATM at night. You don't want to do that. I did that one time with Flybo. We went in Cartagena, but like it was like a big like street party, and police were like right there, so like that's why I didn't really trip too much. But under normal circumstances, like if it's at night and it's pretty like quiet ish, you don't want to do it. I wouldn't even. I would just do the Rappi thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again, bro. That was my first and last time.
Facts about the Japanese, I knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
I didn't know. I did not know that. I knew about the black people. I didn't know about the Japanese though.
Oh, my bad, Charles.
He said he gave away the secret garden. The
Oh yeah,
Japanese.
man. Y'all want them thick Asian women, man. Liberdade Sao Paulo.
Yeah, yeah. You gave the ways direction too. Landmark and everything.
I didn't know, because listen, man, I'm not really into Asian women like that until I went to Sao Paulo. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give an Asian woman a shot. Like
Yeah,
that's how it is out there, man.
you might want to check out Cambodia though. Cambodia, thick.
I like Filipinas too, man. I'm
No doubt.
Filipinas.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Yep, agreed. Brazilian people are some of the best people I've ever met.
Mm-hmm. To me, they're number one that I've met, that I've come across.
Wow,
easily number one.
Wow, man,
Easily.
that's saying something. That's saying something because you've been to a lot of countries, man. You've been to a lot of countries. You've traveled a lot, and you were in Brazil for like about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
2 weeks, some change. Yeah, so I was mostly in Rio, and then I went to Sao Paulo, and I felt in Rio specifically, they're much nicer in Rio. They're willing to give you the shirt off of their backs, or whatever you want to call it. In Sao Paulo, they're more like snotty a little bit, like they're cool, but they're more like stuck up compared to the rest of Brazil.
Right. Okay, so let's touch on this really quick. So Charles says here's the third racism. Did you experience any racism? Okay, 0%.
And this is the thing. Let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of brothers out here that have gone to Brazil that say there's a lot of racism, and I'm not knocking them for that. I'm sure it exists. You know what I mean? Like, let me say that I said this. I believe it was with QB the other day when I was interviewing him. I told him straight up, this is a dark truth that no one wants to say. And I'm Latino, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I'm Dominican. I'm from the Dominican Republic. There's a lot of racism that happens in the Dominican Republic that people are too afraid. Latinos are too afraid to talk about. But I'm gonna tell you, racism exists. Yes, it does. All across Latin America. In fact, there's a saying in Latin America that it is not. This isn't what it is word for word, but it's something along the lines of "no daña la raza," something along those lines, which basically means don't ruin the lineage. All that, right? Which means to procreate with lighter skinned people. right? White people.
Yeah.
Right. And I've heard some very bad things, man, where like I've heard, some Spanish women or vice versa, Spanish men get criticized for dating a black person, right? Because they're damaging, quote unquote, damaging the race, damaging the lineage, damaging the genetics. And that's the truth of it. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, that's the truth of it. That's an unfortunate truth that, it does exist. It happens. I'm gonna be straight up about that. Dominicans are very racist. I don't know if you knew that. Dominicans are extremely racist.
I didn't know that.
The way they treat Haitians, man. Like if you ever go to Dominican Republic, just see the way they treat Asians. Like they treat them like shit, man. They treat them like they're animals, like they're not people, man. They have a whole border that separates the two countries. You know what I mean? And they shoot them down. It's fucked up, man. What's going on over there? And this happens all around Latin America. Argentina, another place that's notorious for this, and I'm sure Brazil is the same thing. But I didn't experience that when I went to Brazil. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm lighter skinned. I don't know what, but I didn't experience that, or maybe it did happen. I didn't catch it. But with dating, I was dating black women. I was dating white women. In fact, keeping it real though, the black women were actually like the most receptive to me. I don't know if it's because I was lighter skinned or not, but they were super receptive. I have receipts, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. They're very receptive. I have videos, man. I got videos.
Okay.
Beautiful black women.
So let's read a couple of these and we'll get into some of these receipts, man. Let's see here. Fix the race. Oh, this is just said really because some people. Okay, I found some people.
I'm not saying they're mean. I'm not saying they're rude, but I felt like Cariocos were more nicer to me.
Cambodian women have nice. Yeah. I think I'll call them Thasians. Oh man, you guys are funny. All right, true. Let's see. Shout out to Renee being here. Not sure why she laughed. Maybe she was laughing at somebody in the chat. All right, man. But yeah, so let's take a look at some of the beauties.
You want me to send you videos?
I can do that. You can share your screen. Oh wait. Oh, they're on your phone?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Okay. All right. So just go ahead and just send them, and then I'll pull them up.
All right, let me send you this one over here. So I got them on my phone. They cool people, man. Like, let me see. Let me send this over to you, Kings. Just bear with me 1 second, guys, because I want you guys to see this, man. I don't want you guys to think I'm full of baloney over here. But I felt the most receptive were the black women. But of course, I met Pocahontas looking type of chicks which I love. I'm a sucker for Pocahontas, Brazilian women, like that look. Like I dig that. The blonde girls, the white girls were cool as hell with me too. All the girls were cool with me. I didn't experience any racism out there.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't experienced that. I haven't experienced that either. Even in Colombia, I haven't experienced that.
All right, so I'm gonna send you two Kings. I'm gonna send you two of them over here.
Okay.
Just bear with me because I have a ton of videos over here, man. Holy moly. So I'm gonna send you the one that I think I sent you before about that one girl twerking. And then there's another one with another beautiful girl. She's actually from Bahia.
Salvador Bahia. Okay.
Yeah, she's really cute. All right. Oh my god, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna send you this one. All right, make sure I'm sending it to you. So boom. And then I'm looking for the other one. So I just sent it over to your WhatsApp.
I got it. Hold on. Let me see.
Her name's Daisy. She cool people.
Daisy?
Yeah.
Okay.
She cool people. And then I'm going to send you this other one over here. And then that's it.
Hold on. Let me...
There it is. Okay, so
all right, guys. Thank you for waiting. And you know we do this live.
you already know.
Live.
Let's send this. So I don't know if you guys will be able to understand it because I was speaking to her in Portugal. And I'm gonna send you this one too.
That's all right. You could break down the
Yeah, I'll break it down for you. All right, I sent you to both of them.
All right, so hold on. All right, I'm trying to get this thing to open. Why is it not opening? Okay, hold on. Oh, it is. Okay, hold on. Let me.
He said Brazilian women versus Colombian women. I've dealt with Colombian women here in the States. I haven't been to Colombia yet. I'll be there soon. And if I were to compare those women, the Colombian women from America versus the ones from Brazil, in Brazil that I met, as much as I do love Colombian women, at one point I loved Colombia. I thought them and Russians were like the best. But then when I went to Brazil, it was just something about that energy, man. I'm telling you, it was different. I have a preference. I'm biased towards Brazilian women. But both are beautiful, man. You know, if it's not Brazilian, it's Colombian for me. Colombian's right there.
Man, Jamie said.
See, I'm talking to her in Portuguese.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. So Jamie said it is over. It is over for anyone else. Man.
Yeah, I got a bias, but like I said,
yeah, you shut down Russia too. You shut down Russia too. He said, "Nah, I'm good, Russia."
Yeah, but this is a quick comment I want to say about that. I love Russian women. All right, so if you brothers like white women, the best white women you'll see on this planet will be in Eastern Europe. We're talking the Ukraine, Russia, Poland, Belarus. Don't sleep on Belarus. I dealt with Belarusian women before. Belarus, Kazakhstan, those countries right there. Go to those countries, man. You'll see the best white women you'll see in your life. But I feel like the older I get, the more I realize I want to date women that look like me, that have the same culture as me, right? So we're talking Latinas or Brazilian in this case. Even though they speak a different language, it's still very similar to Latino. They're Latinas, you know, it's very similar culture. It's just different language. That's all it is. But I feel like the older I get, the more I want to deal with my own kind, if that makes any sense.
Nah, it definitely makes sense. Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to get this video to pull up.
Damn, they don't want me to show you the receipts, man.
Hold on. Come on, bro. Oh, I got it now. I got it. Here we go. All right. You guys should be able to see this. You can see it, right?
Yeah, so that girl's Daisy. She's from Salvador Bahia.
Hold on, I'm trying to press play. Why is it not playing?
Cool people. Shout out to Daisy if she's watching this. One moment.
Português, inglês, espanhol. Minha cabeça. No.
You see how cool they are, though?
You're fun. You're a lot of fun. Yo tengo que practicar mi portugués con usted porque yo tengo que mejorar.
I was telling her I got to practice my Portuguese.
Eu nem sei que idioma você tá falando. Moderador diz o que a veces ni siquiera sabe qué idioma hablo. Oh. Porque está hablando 3 idiomas. Portugués y español.
Yeah, I told her at the end that she was speaking 3 different languages. She's trilingual, so she knows Spanish, she knows a little English, and she speaks Portuguese. So I told her, "Oh, you're speaking 3 different languages. You're going from one to the other, you know?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me. Yeah, man. She's.
Yeah, Daisy's beautiful. Daisy's cool, man. Daisy look like she'd give you a good time.
Man, listen. Man. Daisy is fine.
Yeah, Daisy's fun, man. And there's a lot more receipts where that came from, man. I have a ton of them. I'll be releasing I'll be releasing those on my Patreon. So if you guys are trying to see the full videos of that, that'll be on my Patreon. Some of them are already up there already.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Remember, guys, we build it as we fly. Yeah,
and actually, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm doing this live, so don't trip, guys. Don't trip.
So I have 2 videos, 2 interviews with beautiful women from Brazil. One of them is a white girl from Brazil, cool people. That's actually on my YouTube for free. You guys can check that out. One of my latest videos. It's called Brazilian Beats with Brazilian Women. Check that out. And then I have another one with a a stunning woman. Her name's Stephanie. Cool people. Check that out as well. I think it's Working Out with Brazilian Girls. So check that out too. Those are new videos that just dropped.
Okay. Hold on. I am now about to share.
Oh, you about to show them my girl Lini from Rio de Janeiro, Botafogo. Shout out to her. She's watching this.
All right, let me get this right.
Of course, Kings, you know this one. You know this video.
Maybe. Oh, wait. Let me see.
Yeah, my girl Lini.
Oh yeah.
What's good, baby? What's good? Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I ain't bullshitting over here. She's very athletic, too. She goes to the gym a lot.
Over here. Oh.
Hey.
You saw that face she made, bro? You saw that face she made? She said, yeah, I know you like it. that was me, bro. I was like, damn. She knew what she was doing. That was the first time I met her, too.
Oh my God.
She's a cutie. She's cute.
Follow my girl over here. Follow her.
Yo. Man. Okay. Yes, definitely beautiful, man. Definitely beautiful for sure.
You see that energy though, man. I'm not lying about that. But another thing,
not energy. What's up?
Another thing I want to say real quick, another positive that I just got reminded of by that video about Brazil.
Sure.
Brazil has a huge fitness culture. They thrive. They literally love to work out in Brazil. They're always in the academia. That's what they call it. Academia means gym.
Yeah.
So they're always in academia getting fit. Like most Brazilian women, not all, but most of them are fit. Like some of the most fittest women I've seen are Brazilian. Like I love that, bro. Nice and fit, beautiful, great personality. Like what more can you want from a woman? They treat you like a king. They twerk for you. You know what I mean? Like what more can you want? You know what I mean? That's another good thing I like is most women in Brazil are fit and they love to work out.
Yeah, I mean the only difference like in Colombia really is just the language, bro. I mean, of course, like the assertiveness, like the positive assertiveness, you won't get that, but you'll get the choosing signal, like as Dre mentioned early, like with the come hither stare, where she's looking dead at you, like like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, come here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna let y'all know what I think when I get back from Colombia.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, now let's get to you. Drop some receipts, definitely. Let me see where we're at. Don't sleep on Bulgaria. No, not at all. Both are beautiful.
I'm not lying to you. I'm not
Brazilian woman versus Colombian woman. That's a difficult choice. Let me say this: you flip a coin in the air, you're gonna win every time. Let that marinate.
Both are beautiful, man. Both are beautiful. Both are fantastic.
That was the whole point of it. That's why I said you flip a coin in the air, you win every time.
You're winning regardless, man.
Yeah, exactly. Aside from having fun, I don't think I could deal with a European woman. Their history with the world affects me some kind of way.
I mean, you could say the same thing about America.
Yeah,
The history in
I would
America is just as
say,
dark.
yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing, right? Like, I understand what JB is saying, but like, you can't really put that on people like who weren't around when things like that were happening, right? You know, so you can't really put things like that on people because
Mhm.
if we look at every single culture, every single background, like, you know, everyone has done some fucked up shit. Let's
Mhm.
just keep it real. You know what I mean? But I understand your overall point, JB. I'll definitely make sure that you hit that like button, that share button, also subscribe. You know, to my channel. Also subscribe to my guest Jamie Woods.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, Renee said yes. I don't know. Maybe somebody was speaking to her. My 3 complaints about Brazilian women. Lots of them have no hips. Lots of them have hairy legs. A lot of them don't really know how to grind and twerk like the women of the U.S. Huh? Really? I thought that they could dance.
I don't know about that, Charles. Respectfully, I don't know about that, my friend. Like I've seen some of the best hips I've ever seen in my life in Brazil. Number 2, the hairy stuff. I mean, I didn't really see hairy legs, but I saw hairy arms, and that's you see that in a lot of Latinas. You know, I
Yeah.
know Dominicans, same thing. Dominican women sometimes they'll have hair on their arm, and it is what it is. I mean, I prefer if it's shaved off, but if they have it, I'm not going to discriminate against that either. It's natural. But I don't really see hairy legs. But number 3, you said they don't know how to grind or twerk. Like, I don't know, that you got to go to Lapa. You got to go to Lapa, man. They do know how to grind and twerk, from my experience. But everyone's experience is different, man. I can't judge you for your experience.
Right, no doubt, man. All right, and so Jay Burden, I don't deal with women from the States either, part of which is why I left. They can dance, but they can't do it like the women of the United States.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if that's what your opinion is, and I guess deal with the girls in America, I'll deal with the Brazilians.
No. Trust me. You don't want to hear his comeback. He's gonna say, "I'm not dealing with the girls in America." I already know how Charles
Yeah,
is
I'm
gonna
only
go.
messing with you, Charles. You know what I mean?
We'll be here another 30 minutes because Charles will go off if he telling the mess with women from the United States, bro. All right, listen. We are 2 hours and 20 minutes in. My brother. Final thoughts, man. Talk to the people, man.
All right. So listen, guys. I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to Brazil. I think Brazil is one of those countries that I feel like a lot of brothers don't go to for several reasons. One of them, of course, is the danger factor, quote unquote. They think that Brazil is dangerous, right? And to an extent, that can be true depending where you go. But you could say that about any country. You could say that about the United States, right? Brazil doesn't have mass shootings like that, like the United States does, right? Brazil is mostly targeted crimes, right? Or if you go to the wrong neighborhood, phone theft, like petty crimes. You know what I mean? I walked all around Copacabana, Ipanema, Leblon, all by not by myself. I would say with my friend. Nothing happened to me besides that one time I got almost digitally robbed. I would say that's the worst thing that happened to me while I was over there. But Brazil, it's over exaggerated, man. What the media is telling you is over exaggerated. It's not as dangerous as you guys think. As long as you move smart, you're good. You know what I mean? Another thing is the flights. I know a lot of brothers don't want to go because of the long flights. 10, you're especially if you're coming from the tri-state area like me, you got to take a 3-hour flight to Houston, 10-hour flight to Brazil. It's long. You're there all day, but trust me, it is worth it. It is worth it. You know what I mean? The other thing, of course, is the flights being so damn expensive. You're paying over $1,000 for that. And I get it. Some brothers don't want to spend that, you know what I mean? But I would say every single man in America needs to go to Brazil at least once in their lives. Trust me. And once you get a taste of that, it's going to be hard for you to want to leave there, man. You're going to want, like, a DJP. I was talking to DJP about it, man. DJP said it best. And he said that, man, once you come out of Brazil, man, you're going to find ways. You're going to be so motivated. Like, you're like, ever since I left Brazil, man, I haven't been the same man. I have not been the same man. I'm way more motivated than what I was. You know what I mean? It, of course, women being one of the biggest things, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like the women out there will motivate the heck out of you. When you're around so many beautiful women, the beautiful culture, how everyone's so connected. Everyone feels like friends out there. Like I said, the mountains, how diverse it is, everything. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful country. And I'll hope to return there. I hope to live there one day, man. And like I said, every single man, every single brother in the United States that's single needs to go out there at least once in their lives, man. Trust me, you're going to be dealing with some of the most beautiful women on the entire planet. In my opinion, they are the most beautiful women on the planet. And so I understand you guys are going to be on the flight all day. You're going to be spending over $1,000 and all that. You might be scared for your safety or whatever the case is. But once you land, all those worries are going to go right away. You're not going to think about the $1,000 you just spent for the flight. You're not going to think about how many hours you just spent on a plane to go down to Brazil. And another thing is you're going to realize, wait a second, Brazil's not as dangerous as I thought it was. You know what I mean? And take advantage of it now before they put the visa requirement into effect, which I think it takes into effect on April 2025, which means you have to be showing bank statements and all that, right? Proving that you have, I think, over $1,000 or whatever it is in your bank account in order to, whatever amount it is to go into the country. So take advantage of it now before they start putting that visa shit into effect, right? And yeah, brothers, man, you're gonna love it out there. It's fantastic. If you love Colombia, if you love the Dominican Republic, you'll love Brazil. Okay, so try out Brazil, man. You won't regret it. 100. What's that saying that they say? They say 100% guarantee or your money back, right? So I'm telling y'all this: 100% guarantee or your money back, man. If you don't like Brazil and you end up having a terrible experience, you can email me. You can message me. Hey, Jamie, you were wrong. This is trash. But I don't think that's going to be the case, man, because I loved it. There's a lot of brothers I know that loved it. I've not once heard a brother say something negative about Brazil, saying they won't come back. You know what I mean? I've yet to hear that. So, brothers, give Brazil a try, man. You won't regret it.
Absolutely, man.
And one last thing.
Oh, yeah,
if you're trying to see some more women twerking and all that type of stuff and some more amazing interviews, check out my Patreon.
Definitely make sure that you guys check out his Patreon. Sign up. I'm sorry, not sign up. Sign up for Patreon. Make sure that you guys follow Jamie. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to his YouTube channel. Make sure that you are following him on TikTok, following him on Instagram. Definitely show this brother support. Came in here, dropped a lot of gems about Brazil. Talked about a story about him almost getting robbed, holding his own self accountable, man. So That's what we do here, man. We like to learn, we like to have fun, and we like to educate, man. So I appreciate my brother Jamie for being here. Please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel KingzNDreamZ. And of course, I will be talking about my own Brazil experience soon. So I can't wait.
I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that,
man. I can't wait for that.
King's about to come back with like 5 families and shit, man. 5 families and a bunch of kids, bro. I'm like, okay, what happened, bro? What's going on?
Hey, man, listen, it's all good, man. So, what's on the horizon? Brazil, Colombia, Cali, Colombia for Petronio Alvarez. So can't wait, man. So Bahia in Brazil and then Cali, Colombia. Yeah, man. So I'm going the Afro route to close out the year, man. So that's what I'm doing, man. My brother, yes, my brother. I definitely appreciate you, man. And we'll talk about February, man. I couldn't put too much out here. But we got some things cooking for February. So I'm just saying you might have to hold on for Brazil for a little bit.
All right.
I got you, man. Yo, but thank you so much. Listen, all of you watching, man, stay purposeful. I'm out. Peace.